Hello, good Monday, and welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
We're going to be talking about some comic books, then we're going to pick out our book of the week, then we're going to read your comments, then we're going to recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think you should check out. That's the order of operations we got today. Plus, we have two special guests that are popping in on the show to promote some books that they're working on that I think you're going to be excited to check out. I know I am.
Based on chatter for a specific book that is not necessarily the one they're talking about today, that you've really enjoyed, I think the audience is going to be excited.
I agree wholeheartedly. I don't know
if it's in the title or not, so I'm just like,
it's not.
Okay, good.
No, there's no.
It's a surprise.
It is a surprise. Always a surprise. Mostly because no one will click on it if I say, "Hey, we have comic book professionals coming on the show." For some reason, people are like, "Oh, that was really cool, and I really enjoyed that." But if I was told that I was going to get it, then I probably would have actively avoided your show. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Before we get started, I want to mention that this is something that I promoted on social media earlier, but I thought I'd mention it again. This is from Dynamite. If you are a Disney fan, you are going to enjoy this Humble Bundle available. According to the press release, they say, step into the magical world of Disney Comics with our latest collaboration with Dynamite Entertainment. All your favorite critters, heroes, and goofballs are here to entertain fans of all ages. Dive into a vibrant library featuring 50 comics starring your beloved characters like Lilo and Stitch, Gargoyles, Hercules, and more. Discover amazing page-turners based on your favorite stories and help support First Book with every purchase. So here's the deal. Dynamite has a ton of Disney books under the license, including the resurrected Gargoyle series from creator Greg Weisman. If you were interested in that series, go check out this Humble Bundle, which is in the comments below this video, or if you're watching the show live, which you should be every Monday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's in the chat as well. This is the Humble Bundle concept is just you pay what you want. You can also determine how much of what you pay goes to the charity if there's a charity affiliated. In this case, it is the charity is First Book, which is great. Definitely, if you are in the North American vicinity of the world, I understand it is not applicable outside of North America. I believe it is applicable for Canadians. So, hey, not bad for the Canucks out there. But also, if you are in America, here's something to take your mind off things. Why don't you read some Disney comics, some Dynamite? There's a ton of them. Check them out. They're in the chat right now. So, and of course, the best part is, you pay what you want, and you can also tell the thing how much you want to go towards.
I've done that many a time for some video games.
Exactly. The Humble Bundles of it's fantastic concept.
It's great.
I agree.
Especially if you're listen, if money is tight, it's a fantastic.
Yeah, money's tight, but you're still interested. Yeah. Like you're like, oh man, I was curious about that. I never got a chance to look at that. So yeah. I'm just gonna turn this to you. There.
Hi, it's me.
That's better.
Now you can hear me.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
We want to mention, of course, that this show, in addition to the promotion we just did for Dynamite Entertainment, we want to mention the show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you want to help us out, you can do so by clicking the super chats and asking a question or comment. We'll read it here on the show. It'll be part of the show forever. If you have no scratch to give, that's no big deal. You can always just watch the show, click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe to us inevitably. And if you're watching this show right now, click that like button. It does help us out somehow. I still am in the dark about why.
But it supposedly it does.
But Mr. Sunday Movie says it does, so I'm going to trust him.
He knows what's up.
He's got a kind voice.
He's got a kind voice.
Yes. It's got a fine face, but I would say it's not kind. It's too attractive to be kind.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. He hurt you with his attractiveness.
Yes, his piercing gaze and his mannish jaw. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. James is a specimen of masculinity, Australian masculinity.
Yes.
Which is like 20% more masculinity than your average English-speaking.
Hopefully, someone clips that and sends it to him.
I hope it does. I hope he sees it. I hope Mason's deeply jealous. He does have better facial hair than I do, though.
Mason?
Yeah.
Oh.
Big time. Oh yeah, he's awesome. Anyway, so yeah, let's jump into it. Before we get into the comics, of course, I want to mention that a little bit of speculation went out there regarding the Marvel DC crossover, particularly from the Marvel side, I think, where they were talking about the other books, the other creators that were coming out. And Marco Checchetto, or Checchetto, I should say, which is how he pronounces his name.
Oh my gosh, you've been saying it wrong the whole time?
Yeah, that's right. But I did pronounce it correctly in Ultimate Spider-Man on back issues.
Wow.
But yeah, he released his cover, or his variant cover, of the Deadpool Batman crossover.
Yes.
Which is the other shorter crossover, which is written by Kevin Smith, auteur and
Wait, he's doing Batman and Daredevil?
No.
That's what you just said.
No, he's writing the other crossover in Batman Daredevil.
Oh.
Daredevil Green Arrow. which is drawn by Adam Kubert. So it's going to look great, despite the fact
But
that
it'll never be finished.
No. It's only 3 pages or something.
Didn't he not finish something?
He's finished a couple of things, but one of the things that he hasn't finished featuring Daredevil is the infamous Daredevil Target series, which has exactly 1 issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's finishing this because it's only a few pages. He wrote a couple of page story for the giant size Spider-Man just last week. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of Kevin Smith in comics as the years roll on.
It's like, hello.
Hi, remember me? From comics.
No.
I'm not saying that he fell off. I'm just saying, hey, remember when I used to do this more?
Nah.
Now I'm back. I would have picked Phil Hester to draw the Daredevil Green Arrow crossover myself. But,
yeah, that's fair.
But an Adam Kubert book, darn.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Plus,
it's gonna be Rorschach.
Yeah, it's gonna be Rorschach. Well, plus we're getting a Jeff the Shark and Krypto crossover, which I think everyone saw coming.
Everyone knew was coming, and like that comes from literally a just like pop culture making that happen.
Yeah,
I think people are loving Krypto right now, and with the like popularity of Marvel Rivals, and in particular Jeff's character, play style, and everything memeable about Jeff.
Yes.
It just was like, oh, obviously here it is.
Precisely. I wonder who they would have picked for DC rather than Krypto had there not been a Superman movie featuring Krypto coming out. Probably Ace the Bat Hound.
Probably. Maybe.
I don't know.
Jeff versus the DC universe.
It might have been one of those where it's like, no, it's just Jeff and the DC universe.
It'd just be like a standard, like not like the recent Jeff issue, but like other ones where it's like a couple pages.
Yep.
It's just him like bebopping it around.
Yeah.
Him in the Batcave.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, would have been similar to the Trinity series where like Jeff is just bebopping and scatting all over the DC multiverse or time.
I would have liked Streaky.
Yeah. Maybe King Shark. Since,
he would have shown up there for sure.
No question.
100%.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into some comics that are coming out before we jump into our big chat with some fine creators I'm very excited about. Okay, Absolute Flash. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, why not?
That was weird that it did that. Okay,
there you go. We know it.
Yeah, we know what we're doing.
We know what we're doing. This is
only been doing it for like
Lemire,
11 years. Yes, it is.
And a different artist.
Yes, it is. Yes, very much so. A different artist. This is Absolute Flash number 4 from Jeff Lemire and A.L. Kaplan.
Yeah.
What we were suspecting is the case where it's not so much that Flash, Wally gets his suit and becomes Absolute Flash. Quite the contrary. What we were seeing was a moment in the future that hasn't happened within this book yet. But so Wally runs away from everything and ends up bumping into other DC mainstays like the Dibneys, rather Ralph Dibney.
Yeah, I was like, I bet Sal really likes this.
I'm a fan. I dig it. I like the idea that like Ralph and Sue run like a kind of like
wayward house for like young people,
for young youths.
The Dibney mission, that's what they call it.
Linda Park is among them in terms of children who are being taken care of by these folks. Meanwhile, Wally's dad is trying to reconcile the fact that he sent a bunch of mercenaries who are modeled after old Flash villains to secure his 15-year-old son, and hypocritically be like, excuse me. And it's like, dude, you sent them. But yeah, so they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Meanwhile, we also have the implication that maybe Grodd is not as on the up and up as possible, or he's an unwilling Trojan horse.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. Obviously, they're tracking him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Wally would have ever thought to check or even know how to deal with
How would you even check a tracking monkey?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
How do you check for trackers in your monkey?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's up, everybody? Hi. Today I want to show you how to take the tracker out of your... This is him on like TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Being like, okay, but get to the part where you show me how to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway. I like the idea that like Ralph Dibney shows up and like immediately Wally's like, no. And I'm like, fair.
Yeah.
Totally fair. I would also be like, no. And then Linda's like, hey, it's actually cool. And he's like, she's pretty. I like her.
That's how it
works.
works.
I trust you.
Yeah, big time.
But I don't think they're leading up to anything nefarious
with
the Dibneys at all. In fact, he's just kind of more or less like, hey, here's some stuff.
Yeah,
here's a toothbrush, kid.
Something you would never
use it.
You will not think to grab that when you're running away from home.
No way. I love. He's like, it's like a toothbrush, toothpaste, and a few other things. Deodorant's in there. He's like,
you need this.
I'm not saying you have to because it's totally up to you if you decide you want to or you don't want to. but
you probably
should have the option.
Yeah.
Here's the option.
If you want to keep talking to Linda, you're gonna have to put this on.
Also, you're the Flash. I have to imagine if everything else is super, that I feel like must also be
super BO. Yeah, no doubt. It's true.
No, just bring it down to normal standards, then we'll all be good.
We also meet what would be, I guess, Eobard Thawne in this reality, Eleanor.
Yeah, Eleanor Thawne.
I'm assuming because that's when Wally's like dad mentions the fact that like, why are they all futuristic? Like, why do they have this crazy technology? Oh, because we work with
Barry. Yeah.
Well, no, we're dealing with Thawne.
But she was also working with Barry.
Yes.
So.
But I think Thawne is from the future and is either stealing technology from there or is like knows how to build it or something.
Okay.
In any case, new Thawne. Okay. This is my reaction to this entire issue. Oh, okay.
I mean, there's some interesting stuff. We obviously we got some some new versions of classic things. They have like Project Wizard, which I was like, obviously that's the Weather Wizard.
Yeah, Weather Wizard, yeah.
And then Heat Wave,
yeah.
and then Quadruple X,
right?
And Firestorm.
Yeah. Oh. So there's Trojan horsing some ideas
and we get to potentially see some new takes on those characters, which I was like, this is fun. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. The artist, I think, did a fine job filling in a different feel to this issue entirely. And then this was the issue that made me realize, I'm like, wait a minute, is there either something where they're like, hey, you have to have these bars in there, or is that the letterer who's doing the bars when we see some narration? And I was like, if so, then I've done a disservice to the letterer because they're doing phenomenal work. I don't know who's putting those in, but I love the touch.
I think I would trust the letterer to do that.
I would absolutely trust the letterer. The letterer is always the unsung hero of an issue. You only pay attention to the letterer when something is wrong, typically, which is very sad. So it's like, as long as the letterer is doing a job, you'll never notice they exist. And I'm like, that must be great to feel like.
Agreed. Yeah.
10 out of 10. I feel awesome about that.
Well, we want to give a big shout out to Tom Napolitano for his unsung work.
But I mean, good lettering is harder to do than you think. Once you go down the rabbit hole of starting to learn about lettering, it's like you need to understand the lift that letterers are doing in order to make things look good, not stand in the way of the art, give you the voice that the writer wants. It's just this whole thing. It's whole thing. Yeah. And I encourage you to do so.
I agree.
At some point.
Yeah. I wasn't wild about the art, but A.L. Kaplan was new to the scene, new to this book, and had a lot of,
Yeah, I feel like it was a different energy.
Very different energy.
It was still a youthful energy, which is what
Certainly
the book needs. So it didn't bother me too much. In fact,
Absolutely.
It took me a second to realize. I was like, wait a minute. It was when I saw Wally's dad. I was like, whoa, I don't remember him being so swole. Man,
he's huge. Yeah, no, he's a big dude.
Did I miss that?
I don't know. Seemed
did he go to the gym, right? But he worked out really hard before he stepped into scene.
Yeah.
You got to get the superhero muscles.
That's right.
Yeah. I liked it. I'm still liking this book. I like the leaning into Wally's youth.
Yes.
I think it's cool.
I think so too.
Fun times.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to the next book, we have to welcome our special guest. So farewell, Tiffany. Thanks for being on the show for 2 seconds. I do appreciate it, as always. But for now, I'm going to welcome 2 special guests on today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, from our pals over at IDW Entertainment and from 2 upcoming titles, we have Mr. Dan Waters, Mr. Alex. Show.
Hi, Sal.
Hi, yeah.
Nice to meet you guys. By the way, this is the first time we've been introduced. I'm Sal. Hi. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us on.
My absolute pleasure. I am so excited for this. So if folks aren't familiar, they should be. And I'll just give you a quick, brief introduction. We're talking today about 2 brand new series that are coming out from IDW. The first of which from Dan Waters is TMNT Shredder. You may have seen some amazing artwork out there already from Michelle Bandini that features the Shredder solo series. But not to be outdone, Alex Packnadel, and by the way, am I pronouncing the name correctly?
Yeah, no, it's phonetic. It's fine. It's just imagine you're sort of hammering a nail into wood with your forehead. It's very, very phonetic.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, Alex is working on the TMNT Casey Jones series. We're getting 2 books in the TMNT world featuring characters that, at least as far as I'm concerned, haven't had a significant push individually. Now we're getting both of them at the same time. Really exciting stuff. Who wants to go first?
It's earlier for Dan, so I think Dan should go first.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay. All right, Dan. Tell us about the launch of the Shredder series and where how this project came about and what the Shredder means to you.
Yeah, I mean, it came about because editor extraordinaire over at IDW, Andy Curry, who had worked with me on the back half of the Lucifer title I did over at Vertigo, which was my first like proper American comics work. And we very much enjoyed working together there. And then when it came time for a Shredder book, I think he thought of me, having already written sort of one horrible bugger. I guess I came to mind for this one. And yeah, I mean, we're pretty deep into production. It's been a blast to make. What was the other half of the question? There was definitely another half of the question, wasn't there?
Oh, I guess it was really a loaded question that was like, how'd this come about? What's and what does the Shredder mean to you? I guess was my
that was it.
Very lame American question.
Yeah, I mean, I love the villains the best. Like I love writing villains, and I've done the sort of did Lucifer, done Destro for Skybound's Energon universe, and my first ever superhero comic was a Year of the Villain Ocean Master thing. So sort of maybe way around sort of a lot of the bad guys, but yeah. So getting my hands on Shredder has been a blast. It's the one book where when I told my mum I was doing it, she was like, "Well, you used to drive me crazy with the Turtles when you were a kid."
I love it. That's great. Where are you? Like, what was your approach to Shredder as far as like, is this? I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds. Especially don't want to give anything away. But like, is this in its own world, or is this set in the world that is currently being shepherded by Jason Aaron?
Yeah, it's firmly the latter. It's very much in continuity. It's picking up Shredder's not been in the book. In real time, he's not been in the book for over a year at this point, maybe a few years. And so it's definitely time for him to come back and come back in fine shreddery form. So getting to tell his own story and pick up from where he was left off is an interesting place to pick him up from, where he sort of made his peace with the Turtles, and he's no longer in charge of the Foot Clan, but he's still, as I say, a horrible bugger with centuries of sins to account for. So all of that is very much what we're thinking about and where we're coming into the story from.
Yeah. You've really mastered the ability to get into the mindset of truly, this is a compliment, but truly heinous people and tell things from their perspective, and that's been, clearly evident not only in your Vertigo work, but also, of course, in the current Batman Dark Pattern series, which I've been championing every time we have a new issue come out. Do you feel like there's an opportunity here to make Shredder a little more, I don't know, not friendly, but more approachable as a character, or are we going to get kind of a grittier, or as expected, darker character?
I mean, I think it's an interesting one because I think a lot of that groundwork has been laid by the main Turtles run,
Sure.
sort of before it was renumbered. So we're definitely, I try when I'm writing in continuity. There's always that balance to strike between acknowledging that every comic, and particularly every number one comic that you write, is going to be someone's first comic, and if someone's picking up Shredder number one because they love that character and haven't necessarily read a couple hundred issues of IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they want to see the character as recognizable, from whatever version they've seen from the 80s cartoon, from the Michael Bay movies, from the new series, on TV. So you want to definitely sort of bring some of that back in. But the fact that he had sort of mellowed and made a certain piece is definitely something that I'm still. It's not necessarily at the forefront, but it's definitely something that's still part of the tapestry and DNA of the journey this character's been on.
Sure. And how was it being paired with Bandini on this title? I mean, it's very interesting. I love the art. I've had a chance to peek at it. I know we can't talk about it much, or at least I can't show any of it. But I could say it's a ripping looking book. And
oh yes,
Bandini's really doing us the work of their career right now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, you know, it's always a joy when you sort of click with an artist right off the bat, and I think as soon as he got the script, Kelly emailed me and was like, "Oh, you know, I'm thinking about these influences and kind of stuff." But like we talked about the Raid films a whole bunch, which
nice.
And I was like, "Yeah, that was definitely in my head as well." And so I think we're approaching it from a similar place, wanting to make the same book, same kind of book.
Yeah.
And his storytelling's fantastic. His his shredder looks badass, and that's pretty important in the shredder book.
Definitely. But not but done. Alex, tell us a little bit about the formation of the Casey Jones series and how that all came to be.
Thanks. So Dave Wielgosz, who I'd worked with on a little bit of Batman, along with Amonkai Noelpan, actually, got in touch with me a while ago, asked me if I had any interest in the title. And, you know, I did. I was a kind of fairly kind of Turtles obsessed British kid. Small note, by the way, for weirdly, and Dan will remember this, in the UK, it was called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because the word ninja was considered too violent. So yeah, I grew up with Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Don't hate me. So yeah, leapt at the opportunity. And also, candidly, not to get too into the weeds with it, but, Dan and I talk every day. I knew Dan was involved, and, I knew that we'd sort of have an opportunity to sort of have a little bit of connective tissue. And, any opportunity to get on the phone with this guy, I'll leap at. So, yeah, I mean, I was on board pretty quickly. And then just sort of in terms of finding a way into the character, I mean, obviously, I'd boned up on a lot of the kind of Mirage stuff. I was less familiar with the IDW stuff, but when it was kind of mentioned to me earlier on that there was a desire there to almost kind of fuse the sensibilities of both of those characters. I mean, they're the same character, but they're depicted quite differently. But there was definitely a desire to sort of fuse the two, which was music to my ears. I thought, okay, no, I've got to weigh in. I've got to weigh into that. And really it afforded me an opportunity to sort of really kind of dive into various things that I love. Okay. Like, New York exploitation movies, Escape from New York, The Warriors, Chud, love that stuff. Yeah. That's been front and center, with the character from the beginning. And, a bit of fight manga for good measure. I mean, it's all there. I'm having a blast, just like Dan.
That's great. I am also actually really familiar with Amokei's work from just previous books because I try to read as much as I can over the years. Where did their involvement come in?
Amonkai was actually suggested to me by the editorial team, and it was kind of we have a list of people that we're thinking of, and the top of that list is Amonkai, and my attitude was right. Stop there, right? We're done. I'm heading out now. No, I mean I'm still getting pages in from it, and the thing is, I don't think I'm necessarily a writer sort of associated with kind of action heavy books, and that was something that I really wanted to kind of lean into here because I do love that stuff. Yeah. And the great thing about working with Amonkai as well, because again, we're friends and everything, and I'll be kind of WhatsApping him while he's kind of hiking up a mountain or something, and it's very much I can kind of communicate a vibe And it's always great to be working with an artist where you can you can stick a note at the start of a fight scene and just basically go, look, this is a polite suggestion. Whatever you do will be much better. Have fun. It's great, but when you have that, when you can do that kind of trust fall, and with Amonkai, you absolutely can.
Oh, totally. Do you find both, and this is a question for both of you gentlemen, but do you find that you working on these I find it so funny that you have such a uniquely English perspective on the Turtles, given that they even have their own original title dedicated just for your audiences. But do you find dealing with a very distinctly American property like the Ninja Turtles that there is this kind of fun 2000 AD approach that you both bring to the table for these characters specifically?
I don't know that we can help that in a way. Like, I think there's just this the British way of doing comics that's kind of, it really is like in your DNA. And we all sort of come up through, I think, the sort of Beano to 2000 AD pipeline, just in terms of these things are just around all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it does sort of gear your brain up in a certain way. And yeah, I think there's always, having a slightly outside perspective on the US is always it's just at least a slightly askance perspective, which just lets you approach things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes often I think an outsider perspective is not a more interesting one, but it's certainly a different one, and different perspectives have value. I mean, sorry, almost a non sequitur, but I remember an interesting discussion about sort of, I'm going to get in trouble if I say that Scottish sensibilities are the same as British sensibilities. It's all very nuanced, but I remember, someone was talking about Grant Morrison's. I forget who was saying it, but someone was saying about Grant Morrison's approach to Mr. Miracle. I think it was, and it was very interesting that people were kind of saying, the idea that, okay, so the opening issue of Morrison's Mr. Miracle, right? He's an escapologist, and issue 1, he's escaping through a black hole, and people were saying, this person was saying it's easy to read that as, oh, okay, this is a very intellectual take, this is a very kind of cosmic take. But then someone pointed out that that's also a really Glasgow take. Do you know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm not gonna escape from a burning building. Let's just go straight for a black hole. Stop messing about. We'll just go straight for a black hole. That's in there too. It's a bit kind of no nonsense as well. It's just going straight for the jugular. So there's a bit of that as well. The sort of Judge Dredd kind of puckishness about it. Yeah. But I mean, in terms of, really, and it's interesting as well, because Dan's in New York. I adore New York. So there's always that, my book, I say my book, our book, but certainly my part of our book is almost, it's just going to be a love letter to NYC, really. It's my favorite place on earth, but I'm very much sort of inhabiting it as part of this kind of imaginary landscape. You know what I mean? So, I just want to get as much in there as I possibly can. I want to have him like stopping for kind of pineapple pork rolls and, you know what I mean? Just all that stuff. Yeah. So, love letter to New York as well. And I do see Casey as like the ultimate New Yorker, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Before I let you guys go, and I do appreciate you giving us the time, before we wrap up and mention, obviously, number 1, Shredder comes out July 7th. Casey Jones drops on the August 11th. What, for you gentlemen, is the one thing you want readers to think before they pick up the first issue? Dan, I'll start with you.
That's a good on the spot question. I think those might be the FOCs you have there, not the.
Are they the FOCs? I'm sorry. You're right. Those are the pre-order deadlines, which is good for folks to know. By the way,
I just saw the small heart attack in Alex's eyes. I saw Alex's heart attack.
August 11th. No, I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction, Dan. I am looking right at it, and just saw the date and went, that's it. No, folks, if you want to pre-order your books,
bro,
make
just
sure
order it,
to
yeah.
tell your local comic book store by July 11th or by July 7th. Tell people I want Shredder #1 and August 11th by Casey Jones. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited for people to see the book. It's very much an action series, and we're taking this character who hasn't had this kind of spotlight on him in a long time, or necessarily like I think the way we're approaching it kind of ever, in that he has these centuries of history, and he built this clan into the biggest, sort of crime syndicate in New York. And I think we're going to dig a little bit more into how he did that and what that looks like, and then what this guy looks like when he's unleashed without any of that. This is Shredder with nothing to lose for, and his reputation kind of in tatters, and how he reclaims that is going to be a pretty ruthless journey that's going to take us. I think I'm all right saying that we're taking him to Europe, we're taking him to Japan. We're not stuck in New York for the entire series.
Cool.
So I just think it's going to be a blast, and I hope people do pick it up.
Great. Alex, your turn.
Thank you. I mean, the first thank you. The first and most important thing I suppose to mention is that like Shredder, the Casey Jones series is part of the main continuity. It picks up actually directly from where Casey was shot by D.A. Hale in the main TMNT book. In our book, he's woken up from this kind of he's recovering from this kind of terrible injury, and Raphael and April are basically kind of trying to get him to slow down and actually heal. But as anyone who knows any iteration of Casey will know, that just isn't the way he does things. So even though he's sustained these kind of terrible injuries, he's going to go out into the street and basically try and crack as many skulls as he possibly can to make himself feel better. And in our book, while he's kind of going through some things, he's basically going to meet an antagonist who has been sort of precision engineered to put him through the most agonizing and unpleasant gauntlet of his life. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Great. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing these books. These are genuinely dope looking books. Great pitches, gentlemen. And I can't wait to pick them up. To reiterate, if you want to pre-order these books, the pre-order deadline for Shredder is July 7th. And if you want to pre-order Casey Jones, it's August 11th. Those are the latest, at which point you'll have to just brave the local comic book store and pick up what's there. But guys, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have an awesome evening. I know that at least for one of you, it's a little late. So I appreciate you making the time.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you, Sal.
My pleasure.
Good evening.
Cheers,
You
man.
too. Take care. Thanks a lot. All right. And there we go. Let's see here. There we go. Sorry about that. There you go. Dan Waters acting Alex Packnadell coming by to talk about some great new exciting books from IDW in the Turtleverse. Big thanks to them for being here. I tried not to geek out as often as I do. Welcome back.
Thanks. Sorry, I was having a great round of Vampire Survivors. Did they ever make a Vampire Survivors comic?
I sincerely doubt it.
Just saying. I mean, they could also have made like something animated at some point, but
Hang on.
oh,
There we go.
nobody could hear me asking about Vampire
I
Survivor
know.
comics.
Yeah, is there a Vampire Survivor comic? Which is what you asked.
saying. There's
I
so much,
sincerely
there's so
doubt
much
it.
ridiculous lore. I mean, there should be like a show at the very least.
Yeah. No.
No. Somebody should do that. Not that I don't think anybody would actually read it.
It should be you.
I would read it. It's so ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I was just having a great round.
Nice.
I mean, I kind of designed it to happen that way. Like I picked the right.
Did you have to bail or was it okay?
I paused it. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I'm like a few minutes out.
All right.
Sound like an echo? I'm an echo.
Yeah.
I'm an echo.
You're an echo of the person from the Nexus.
that you used to know or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, I read this Godzilla Avengers. I was very excited about this because it threatened the return of the new Avengers. This is kind of that. Yeah. As with all the Marvel Godzilla crossovers, the idea is that Godzilla lives in the Marvel Universe and occasionally will show up and there'll be a thing. This is written by David F. Walker with art by George Janty or Janty. I do apologize. I think I get the names wrong every time. But yeah, this sees not just Godzilla, but also Godzilla fighting Fin Fang Foom, and then Jet Jaguar shows up to lend a hand. And then it turns out that maybe it's not Jet Jaguar at all, but in fact is Team Godzilla, a group of young people who are building a Jet Jaguar robot, and also the New Avengers are there. This book was, I think, more Godzilla forward than Avengers forward, despite how many of the New Avengers appear.
Okay.
They do feature in the book, and there is an attempt at Bendisonian quippage, but it was not the homecoming I was hoping for. It was instead this odd thing that I don't love, and I wish were more in tune with my sensibilities.
All right.
From the art to the writing to the concept, nothing worked for me. That's it. Anyway, I also read Wonder Woman 22 from Tom King with art by Daniel Sampere and Caitlin Yarsky.
Okay.
At least that was what the credits suggested.
I think it's just Yarsky. I don't think Sampere's in there at all.
I think you're right. When I read it, it said Sampere's name in there, but I
Maybe
think it's just
did the
Yarsky.
cover art.
That makes sense. Yeah, so this is Wonder Woman with Mouse Man, a character who controls mice, and the book is about how Wonder
Pied Piper.
Yeah, no, it's
Isn't
look
that
at him.
Isn't that what the Pied Piper did?
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah.
he
He controls rats, but mice are different. They were cute and
Oh,
big.
okay.
And apparently they
Wait.
were like large, like they were huge rats. Yeah, okay, here's the book.
You just said rats.
Yeah, but they're mice. They were legitimately mice. Here's the book. Washington D.C. is inundated by gigantic mice who are being commanded by Mouse Man, who is being manipulated by the Sovereign. The book is actually about Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman sleeping together for the first time before everything happened, and how they deal with that. It was a cute issue that I appreciate. Not
Cute
over
like a mouse or cute like a rat?
like a mouse, because rats are not cute.
They can be.
They're rarely.
Sometimes.
Yeah, Splinter can be cute, and he is demonstrably a rat. This threatened to be the beginning of something, like a new series, which also is called, I think, of Mice and Men, which I'm like, the art was fine. There are a lot of fun visuals in here, like Mouse Man commanding, Congress was cute. The big mice juxtaposition against like DC landmarks was also fun looking.
Sure. Okay.
And, at the core, there's also an interesting dynamic of that represents, I think, Tom King's issue with writing Wonder Woman, where he's like, I don't know, she's so great. Like, Steve Trevor is the same way, where he's like, I can't believe I got to sleep with you. This is insane. Like I can't believe we're together is what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's succeeded and now he's tricked her. It's just like, I can't believe we're together. This is weird. Why would you be with me? I'm just some guy. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know from conversations we've had with Tom on the show where it's like, I can't believe I get to write for Wonder Woman. She's so good. She's so great. Like, what conflict could there be for her? And that's what this book is all about.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I feel like, so far at least, in terms of the books that you've talked about, I had a better comic week than you.
You did.
I feel like it.
Significantly.
I'm just feeling like it, because like I'm feeling like you haven't been thoroughly
I have not been
with,
my socks have not been knocked off.
There we go. That's maybe what I wanted to say. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. should we talk about some of the books I read? Do you want to talk
I
about
wish we
some of the
would.
books that we both read?
Let's talk about what you read.
I read Zatana this week.
Good.
This is Zatana number 5 by Jamal Campbell, all of it.
Yes.
By Jamal Campbell. This issue was the heavy burden of really like filling us in as to what's been going on, and still came across. Yes, it was like definitely a little bit of an info dump, but done in a really, really clever way. There is a thing that he does in this book paired up with letter that was, I saw it happening and I started like, I had like my phone going and I was like taking notes so that I could figure out what was going on as it was being revealed. I loved it.
That's fun.
Essentially, it's like we meet the big bad finally.
Oh, good.
Like behind everything.
Yeah.
Like what's been like, what's up with that? We meet Zatana's mom. Like it's a whole bunch of stuff. We get to watch Zatana go through the ringer and then come around the other side and be like, you just totally like you made those memories up. That's not how it was.
Yeah.
But while like the story is being told of like Zatana's memories that were bastardized, basically, there's like in the like narration boxes, there are stars for certain letters. And if you take them all out, it's the spell that Zatana's weaving, which says put Zatana back together.
Oh,
backwards.
Cool.
And I was like, I freaking loved this. This issue was so meta in its own way, like it breaking the fourth wall, doing that type of thing where like we the audience are involved with it, even so much as going like Zatana's like, okay, so everything's not completely fixed just yet, but wants to like get herself out of the situation she's in. And so she does like a now you see me spell, and it pulls her out of the book.
Oh, look at that.
And onto like Jamal Campbell's like
blue pages, or blue lines.
I'm gonna try and show you all this. We'll see how well that goes for us, but as you can see, there she is. She has this great moment amongst those pages in which she like looks up directly at us, and it's just like, oh, don't mind me. And then at the end, right before she goes back in, she's like, thanks for reading, bye. And she's gone. And I was like, freaking so good. It made me at this moment where I was like, Zatana can break the fourth wall. And it kind of made me think like they could have done a Deadpool Zatana book.
Oh, yeah.
Written by the right person.
Like
probably.
Like Jamal Campbell?
Jamal Campbell would be great. Maybe Kelly Thompson.
Yeah.
Super fun too.
I guess Grant Morrison as well could have done it.
Yeah, why not? But you know what I mean? Like it's just this book always somehow finds a way to surprise me.
Yes. Well, it only has one more issue to surprise you, unfortunately.
Right, which is completely fine.
But, maybe that's the approach. Maybe it's like, here's volume 1 of Jamal Campbell's Zatana self-titled book.
Right.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe you can come back. This is not too dissimilar from your Doctor Strange approach.
Yeah.
Where it's like you want Marvel to make like original graphic novels of Doctor Strange, but like, what if it's like a season of Doctor Strange?
And that's really like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, how you give it to me.
I don't care, but I want it to be like this sort of tight, because what he's doing is he's telling a story because this is the story he wants to tell. And like, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was pitched to him or not that he should do it, like this is a story he wants to tell. It's not worrying about how it's going to tie into something. It's not worrying about, like what the next big thing is. This is the story I want to tell, which is why I think it's so strong.
Yeah.
And it's paced how he wants it, obviously, because he's doing the bulk of everything.
Of course, yeah.
But this series has been something that is like, I'm not trying to keep it a secret because I want it to be successful, but I am trying to keep it a secret in as much as I'm like, please don't think that you can do this with everything without the right formula. Because the formula isn't just like, okay, 6 issues, do your thing over there, whatever. The formula is have a person who's a story they want to tell, and then let them tell them the goddamn story.
Right. Yeah. Just give them however much runway is available.
Yeah. Like just
and tell them ahead of time. Just be like, you got 6 issues to tell a damn good Zatana story.
Yep. And like, obviously, because this is Zatana and it's not really tied into anything, God only knows when Campbell started working on this, since
that's true.
I don't know what his pace is.
I don't
either.
It's
like there is like some Herculean effort going into each of these issues.
Mm-hmm.
The art has never
wavered.
It has not ever been phoned in for me. It has always been something that I think Campbell was probably proud of, like almost every page. And like when I saw that, like that double page splash of like, or those 2 pages of her on the blue like pages, like that was so like it was just shocking. Like I didn't see it coming.
No.
And that's what I've been liking about the series. It's not trying to do that. It's not like, okay, and now is here where the biggest, baddest thing is gonna happen. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to call it Absolute Batman, but I'm certainly calling out Absolute Batman right now accidentally.
It can handle it.
But it's like it is surprising in that it's just like, hey, check it out.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
really fun.
And here in the regular DC universe, we're also doing some really amazing things.
Yeah, but like we're doing it like quietly over here. It's just happening. This is a book. It's about magic. It's about Zatana. It's about, you know, asking for help, but it's really about story.
Yeah.
Which is so funny coming from an artist.
Yeah.
You know, but like it like the power of story in comics is through art and words.
Yeah.
And so it's like he's a perfect fit for this to write and draw it because it's like that is what comics is,
Yeah.
and Zatana is powered by words.
Right. Right.
I just there's a lot to think about in this, and it's just a gorgeous looking book. It's so much fun. It's so pretty, and I'm hoping he just sticks the landing.
Yeah. Well,
I just hope
I
he
mean,
sticks
I
the
can't
landing.
imagine why he wouldn't. He's never let you down.
Yeah.
But this is the 5th out of 6th issue of Zatana. So if you would like to support the series, the best way to do that at this stage of the book's run, I think you would agree, is to pre-order the trade. Is to say, I want, well, or whatever the iteration is, hardcover trade, whatever the next one is. The next iteration of this series probably will be a hardcover available from like, you know, from DC.
1000%.
So definitely tell your local comic book store, like, I want Zatana Volume 1 from Jamal Campbell.
Yes.
But keep an eye out, and we'll do the same to see if like when the trade / hardcover is solicited, so we can let you know.
Yes.
You can tell people, because like that's another. It's the closest equivalent to like a movie flopping and then it succeeds by being out on DVD or VHS.
Right.
Like, you know, that this doesn't exist anymore, but
No,
like
1000%.
this is the way to do it.
But it's like, listen, what you're going to get if you're looking just for also just really great looking art, or you're a fan of Zatana and maybe you're a fan of her having a specific look. Campbell nails that, like really classic, what you think of when you think of a Zatana look, for sure. So you're going to get these gorgeous entry pages for her. Like most times when Zatana enters the frame, it's in a way where she's like, ta-da! And I love it, but you're also going to get stuff like page layouts like this, which is just like Campbell really going for it.
Yeah.
And just playing with panel
What
layout
did he go for?
art. Okay. Sal is referencing something.
I'm not.
That's not
I
him.
am. I'm sorry.
He was referencing something. But you even get like within this, like these moments from DC's
Hey!
history, including like the Upside Down Man.
Who's that upside down guy?
Oh my god.
It's a quote from Ben.
It's a quote from Ben.
From this week's episode of Back
It's a quote
Issues,
from Ben.
where I just said, "Oh, this is the Upside Down Man," and then 2 minutes later, Ben going, "Who's that upside down Venom guy?"
Like what? So yeah, like I just want to sing this book's it's like praises and give it its flowers, because this is one guy doing this.
Yeah.
Obviously he has an editor and he's got, you know, the letterer and all that, but like it's one person making this book happen. And I think it's really, really like stunning. And this is coming from someone right now who is not reading the Doctor Strange book that's coming out. I'm looking for something that fills that void. And obviously Zatana's going to do it in a different way. She's a different character. I'm like not treating her like,
it's not like this is girl Doctor Strange,
or he's just like, here's just a general magic story. He's like, this is like tied to who she is.
Yeah.
And so I'm also getting an opportunity to learn more about
Right.
her. So
Well, and shout out to Ariana Maher or
Yes.
Mar for being the letterer,
Yes.
since we're talking about giving letterers their due.
absolutely.
And they're the only other creator on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Great
But yeah,
stuff.
Great stuff indeed. I'm glad to hear it. I also, go ahead.
Okay. No, you want to, I didn't have any more you've got.
All right. Well,
You want to do one we did both read? Did you
sure.
read New
Yeah.
Gods?
Yeah. I read New Gods.
Fantastic. What's the matter?
Nothing.
You didn't like it?
No, I love it. What are you
Okay.
talking about? It's a great book. What are you talking about? But New Gods, yep, from our pal Rom V, with art by Travis Moore and Evan Cagle. This series continues its story. The New Gods, more or less, have become refugees and they live on Earth. So we can see what the situation is. The U.S. government gets involved. They show up and they're like, "Hey, you can't just drop a crap load of aliens on Earth and soil and expect them to be given a home." And Jon Stewart's like, "Yes, you can," and that was the end of it.
I really like that. Superman's like, okay, all right, we gotta play this.
Yeah, we got to figure this out.
We gotta play this cool. I'll
Yep.
take care of it, because he's also looking at Orion like,
Like,
okay.
oh, this guy's
Okay.
gonna lose it.
Okay, all right, just
Mhm.
it's okay. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
talk to them. I'm Superman.
right.
What are they
They'll
gonna
listen
say?
to me.
Come on. I'm an alien too. It's all good.
Yep.
It's all good. But yeah, I freaking, because like Hal immediately just is like, well, I mean, come on,
Well,
guys.
the rules say,
Come
and I love
on.
Ollie being like, "Up there he is."
I freaking, yeah, Ollie is just like the booth hath arrived. Like he immediately calls out Hal. like,
Yep.
you know, for being that person
Yep,
who
a
is like,
bootlicker.
yeah, 1,000%. And like, I love John just being like, no, we're good.
Yeah. Then he whips up a place for them.
Like, it's just really like awesome to see Jon Stewart like just be like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, please. I'm a lot more than one moment that people don't necessarily care about or know about in
Mhm.
comic book history, but for some reason has been like my main, like, if any,
Attribute.
well, listen, you know, one of two things. If you're a person who came from the animated series, like I am,
And you're like, where's Hawkgirl?
you're like, where is Hawkgirl? Where is that relationship? Also, I love Jon Stewart. He's so great. If you're someone who was reading the comics earlier on, you're like, Jon Stewart kind of messed up.
Yeah, Jon Stewart. Well,
And that's all he ever did. That's the end of it.
yeah, Jean is mad at John.
And it's like,
It's like, all right,
okay.
we're done with that.
Hal became
paralyzed.
and we're all fine with this.
Yeah.
Some things she gets to live down, I guess. But I'm like, this is really nice for Rom to recognize that it's like, no, John's a good guy who's
also like
Who's
a
like,
counterculture lantern.
yeah. But like, he's also like, I get it. Like, I am like, I do have a badge and I was a soldier and I have all these things going on too. But like, we got to help these people.
Yeah. It's
Like,
great.
It's really well done. Love it. They keep calling that kid the Avatar. And I'm like,
Oh no.
stop. He's got an arrow.
Well, they're not going to do that. They're not going to stop. They want you to think the Avatar.
Why?
I don't know, because he's popular.
He is. The whole Metron thing, I was like, God damn it.
Yep, Metron's working deals.
He's just putting
Manipulating
he's playing chess.
Yes, he is.
He's doing all sorts of things.
It's true.
How much did you love or not love? I loved it.
Mhm.
Orion finding out about Light Ray.
Oh yeah, that was sad.
It
Yeah,
was sad.
nice stuff. Good work.
Yeah, really good work. I love that moment of like a little bit of his apocalyptian
Yeah, his dark Sidian
stuff.
heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, coming through there.
Mhm.
Just really fun.
Yeah.
Really good. Love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, you know, Rom's just really hitting everything on the right like notes in
Mhm.
terms of like understanding the heroes and, you know, understanding how like Earth would probably work in this situation and, you know, making our like the gods seem approachable. I think we're leading up to potentially the end of Highfather.
Yep.
Yeah,
he retired the name.
he retired the name, but I also like him just either going to be stepping down for someone else, which I'm sure that's what
Or his
Rom wants
faith has
to do.
just been shaken. And that's
Yeah,
the
or
idea.
he's gonna die, like
right.
because he's definitely starting to act like, you know, where he's just like, oh,
This
like
is the end.
yeah, this is it, or like, hey, call me this. I haven't like, you know,
Yeah, call me by my real name.
yeah,
I haven't heard it in so long.
Yeah, exactly.
Good line. Yeah,
I forgot Maxwell Lord was in the series.
me too.
I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah, same.
but yeah, like Metron, what are you playing at?
Yeah,
And please stop.
right. Oh no, cool. Yeah, it's a great series. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Did you read Amazing Spider-Man?
No.
I read the Ultimates, running the risk of annoying one person on Twitter. I read Ultimates number 13.
Oh, is there one person you annoyed on Twitter?
Yep. I feel bad, but no, I don't.
Oh.
Ultimates number 13, of course, from the creative team that gives you the entire series. Dennis Camp, Juan Frigeri. This issue is seeing the execution of Ultimates 3.0. And the concept is we need to go global with the Ultimates, and not in a like 50 State Initiative kind of way, in a grassroots, this is what I'd like to see happening in America / the world kind of way, in the real world actually kind of way. And so we see that executed, how, you know, when you're dealing with tyrannical governments or just governments that refuse to listen to their people, the people are the way to see change affected. You know, the book is about Dennis Camp's frustrations with reality,
Sure.
and he's using the Ultimates to do it, and that's what this book is entirely about.
Right.
It's gratifying to watch the like a good genuine plan that one might imagine for the real world executed in a comic book, because that's the only place you're ever going to see it. And you know, that's cool. Frigeri's art continues to be Frigeri's. So
Yeah.
if you like that, fantastic. And if you don't, you're not going to be surprised. There are moments of heroism and quiet contemplation from regular people, and there's also everyone looks like they're 13. There's nothing you can do about that. Wasp continues to be the worst because she's like paying it. She's spying. She's the bad guy.
Okay.
And we see a big reveal for Iron Man, or Iron Lad, I should say, that is very Kangian in his execution, which is living up to his name.
Right.
That, from the previous universe.
Yeah.
It's a fine book that continues to dazzle and delight a group of people on Twitter. So, what else is there? You read Krypto.
I did read Krypto this week. There was actually, interestingly enough, there was a Krypto book this week and an It's Jeff book this week, and I read them both. So let's start with Krypto for sure. Let's start with the book that made me sad today. That was written by Ryan North with art by Mike Norton. I literally was not sure if I was going to pick this book up because I was like, there's a dog in it. And as much as I know Krypto will be fine, I don't love seeing animals put through the ringer.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me sad.
Yeah.
It always makes me sad.
I agree.
But I took a shot because it was just like, see, Krypto is a puppy. And I'm like, kind of.
Yeah, he looks like a dog, but all right.
Yeah,
Like
whatever. He's sweet. It's adorable. I love again, I guess lettering is the theme of the week for me. Talk about lettering in this book. When the other characters like Jor-El and Laurel.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
What, Laura?
Laurel?
I say Lara.
Oh, okay. Well, wouldn't her last name be L?
Yeah, Lara L.
Laura L. Yeah, I was like Lar L. I'm cutting the A off. Like you would in like a French conjugation.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, when they're talking and they're not speaking to or about Krypto, the words are gray.
Sure. Okay.
I love it. But when they say like Krypto, the words become like standard, like darker black color.
Gotcha.
Which I'm like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like blah 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 blah. Leave it to Krypto or leave it Krypto. Leave it. Anything that involves like around Krypto, being talked about. There.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously in the last days of Krypton,
Sure.
in which they're like, we only have months and we got to figure out, blah, 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 blah.
I've actually
right?
never seen other dogs on Krypton, so I think that's funny.
Well, they decided to do that,
Like,
he goes for a walk, this other woman, they're like, oh, is he friendly? She has like some purebred thing, Krypto's a mutt.
Yeah.
And she's like, aren't these like, ground quakes crazy, blah, 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 right? And I was like, right, because they're not called earthquakes if the place is called Earth. So it's like, fair.
Yeah.
She's like, the one woman is like, oh, it's like fine or whatever. And Laura is like, it is not fine.
Mm-hmm.
But she's seeing like more, like we're showing like what the people of Krypton are they're like, oh no, it's all good. The Ministry of Science or whatever said it was totally cool. So we're all good to go.
Yeah.
And she's like, we're not. Come on, Krypto, let's go. So Krypto meets a dog for a second. And we get to know that dog died.
Yeah, that dog blew up. That wasn't that dog's fault. He didn't deserve it.
Cool.
Yep.
So we can see that Laura and Jor are putting together their plan in order to, send a rocket into space. And they inevitably decide that like they need to test it, and they test it with Krypto. So they put Krypto in the thing.
Oh.
And like they take his little collar off because there's like the less weight there is, the better it'll be. And so they shoot him off, and it's so funny because he's so scared at first, and then they pop up on the screen and they're like, "It's okay, you're doing great." And he's like, "Okay, I'm doing great." And then a wormhole opens, and it starts to draw it in. And this is where I just lost it because like they're like they can't put a new course in. There's nothing they can do to save this dog essentially, and this dog has no idea what's going on. And so they pop the screens back up, and you just hear like I think Laura like saying to Jor or vice versa, like, hey, just talk to him normally. Don't let him know anything's up.
Yeah.
Because he can tell.
Oh.
And so they just tell him he's such a good boy and he's so brave. And I'm like, and that was what I was like, oh, cool. I am very sad right now because that dog is so scared and he doesn't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what happened. And it's just so freaking sad. They tell him how much they love him. And they just keep saying that he's a good boy and he's a brave boy. And I'm like, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up. And he's on Earth,
yeah.
And he gets swept away in a river for a second, and then he like goes to Metropolis, and he finds some food, and a bum kicks him because it was his food, and he gets hit by. It's a mess.
Yeah,
it's a hot mess for Krypto. But that's fine. Lex Luthor finds him.
Oh no!
I was like, what?
That's great.
What?
Okay.
Like that feels like out of the frying pan into the fire, but I guess at least he's rich.
Yeah.
Or,
he will be, but it's not.
Yeah,
he's rich, but like. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but like he like gets his full neck. Oh. This is a lot.
It's very stressful.
It was a very stressful book, but it was very sweet and like well done to Ryan North. That like one panel just destroyed my day.
Yeah,
like I was a hot mess.
Well, I'm glad the Krypto's good.
Yeah, Krypto is great, very sweet. I have to know more now.
Yeah,
I have to know more. Yes, there's a whole new reason for Lex to hate Clark. You took my dog.
Yeah.
He was never yours.
No. What are you
So,
talking about?
Yeah, that kid, that bum kicking Krypto. I was like,
Oh no.
I
you don't.
understand, because like you're, without
Yeah.
home, without means, some animal rolls up. You don't have to kick him.
No.
You
Exactly.
don't have to kick him. That
No.
doesn't give you a freaking right.
No.
There, you jerk.
Yeah.
And I got a couple more I read.
Okay. Did you read Moon Knight?
I did read Moon Knight.
Yay.
Man, I definitely read Moon Knight this week. That's Moon Knight written by Jed McKay with art by Devmalya Promanik.
Yep. Does a great job. Welcome to the fold.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So what is this issue about? They need to find a cure for glitter, the magical based drug
Oh yeah.
within
The
Moon
new
Knight.
version of MGH. Yeah.
Yep. He's brought in Hank Pym
Mhm.
to help out with this, and essentially his job is to create the antidote
Okay.
or the antigen or the anti-drug, whatever.
Ah.
Just a way to fix the addiction to it,
Right,
which is
okay.
like seemingly impossible. But they start talking about Mysterium, and if you remember Krakoa, you remember Mysterium, which has
Yeah.
like severe anti-magical properties. So at some point, I expect someone who's writing any of the magical books to remember that Mysterium exists, and then
And give them a suit of armor made of it or something.
or no, cause that I was gonna say like cause all magic to go away for a second.
Okay.
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
And do the whole thing anyway. But Pym talks about the fact that when he he's like, do you understand how it's made at Moon Knight? It's like, no, man.
Vaguely.
What? Like I know what it is, but like he goes like, you're asking me what it like. I hired you, or I asked you to help.
Yeah, you're the
because I
scientist.
don't know.
I'm Moon Knight.
You just want to answer your own question,
Right. Yeah.
and so essentially mutants created it by using ultra compressed Kerbons.
Okay. These are flurbos.
But he's like, and I used to study Kerbons when they were called Pym particles.
Oh no! What? The mutants stole Pym particles? They appropriated Pym particles?
I don't know. So essentially, he's like, yeah, we can do it. So he makes it, but it's like hard to make in like mass. So he needs to like test it while he's working on it. So he goes ahead and he's like, listen, I'm gonna make it. And Moon Knight's like, we got to test it on somebody. And they're like, what about the cop? And he's like, what if it doesn't work or it
Right.
kills her? And immediately, like Greer is like, you're gonna test it on yourself, aren't you? And he's like, yes.
Yes, I am.
So she has a fit about that, and he's like, here's the thing.
And then he's like, hey, welcome to the book. Thanks for having me in the book too. Yeah, it's street clobbering time. Gotta go.
Yeah, we gonna test it on me. You can't.
That'd be great. Maybe I'll die.
Oh,
Then I won't have to live like this no more.
wow. Thanks for being in the book, Ben.
No problem.
Go get a bagel.
Oh, my sweet Aunt Petunia.
Anyway, she's like, the problem is like Hunter's Hunter's
Moon.
No, yeah, Hunter's Moon. Yeah, I was like Hunter's Fist. No, Hunter's Moon is the doctor. So we need him to make sure everything's good. You're like a metahuman.
Right.
We have two vampires,
Mhm.
and then there's me.
Right.
And 8-Ball might just die. So obviously we can't have it be 8-Ball.
No. Yeah.
He's like, if I die, it's fine. Conch will just bring me back. Or
Yeah,
some
plus there's like
garbage.
3 other guys in here anyway.
So he gets addicted to glitter by using
okay.
it one time.
Yep.
And then goes through the process of getting off the drug and fights all these things. But like it turns out it's all happening in his head
Right, yeah,
anyway.
naturally.
And then like, it
And
works.
it like is a metaphor for his curing of addiction.
Exactly. It works. They offer it to the woman and she's like, what if I don't want it? And he's like, well, here's the thing.
And he's like, hey, welcome back to the book.
Oh
Thanks
my
for having me.
God, stop. I can't help that our Ben ruined that phrase, but that's
No, I'm done.
what else am I supposed to say?
I know. I agree. It's an expression everybody uses. That's why it's so ubiquitous. Everybody
Moon
understands
Knight essentially explains to her that in about 3 weeks or like however long his timeline is,
it. Yeah.
I'm going to make all of glitter go away.
Right.
So you can make a decision. You want to take it now, or you want to
Oh my
just die a
God.
slow death? I
Okay.
I got a plan here.
Mm-hmm.
I already like got you off the table. I already took his, Asgardian sword wielding woman away.
Yeah.
So it's all gone.
Yeah.
So he calls up Fairchild. He's like, "Hey, do me a favor. Look across the river at the Jersey side."
Okay.
He's like, what am I looking for? And he's like, you see that? It's like a huge explosion over there. He's like, that's me.
It's me.
That's me. Me and my guys. Come on. we're coming for you.
Nice.
And that's it. I was like,
That's
I'm
great.
having a great time with this
What a
issue.
great page.
Right? Just all of
Awesome.
them like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Now
this
we have to
guy.
get on the ferry.
Yeah. We're in Jersey. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah. This place is on fire now.
I hate that. If I'm from New York, I hate this place.
Right. I hate all the room. And how much less expensive it is, and yet how I'm having virtually the same experience.
We've got like bigger woods.
Yeah. Oh, I hate the cleaner air
Yeah. I suppose that's what
and
it
all
is.
the variety of options I have, whether it's woods or beach or urban areas.
Sure.
I have it all.
Yes.
What a pain in the ass it is.
Yes.
I'd rather be surrounded, perhaps entombed by pee, like I am in Manhattan.
Oh my God, it's not true. I also read It's Jeff this week,
It's Jeff.
which was like an actual like full issue as opposed to like little vignettes.
Oh wow! It's not called It's Jeff. It's just called Jeff the Land Shark.
Well, it's Jeff to me.
It's all
called
Jeff to me.
It's all Jeff to me. I read Jeff the Land Shark.
Jeffy Jefferson.
Jeff.
Jim Jeff.
Written by Kelly Thompson with art by Toki Tokoro.
Nice.
And yeah, this is so cute. It's just Jeff's like sleeping in Central Park and wakes up because he sees
He should go to New Jersey. He'd have more room to sleep.
he's little,
No,
so
it's
he's
true. Yeah,
fine.
gotcha.
Jeffrey. Jeffrey is done with his little picnic nap thing, wanders by the Sanctum Sanctorum. Dr. Strange like bursts out and leaves the door open, and Jeff's like, "Oh no, my basket fell in the Sanctum Sanctorum. I better go get it." I'm like, Jeff, don't be a cat. Why?
Yeah.
So it's running around, runs into the two snakes, Alistair
Mhm.
and Anton. They antagonize Jeff. Jeff finds a table full of like little crystals. Every time he eats one of them, something happens to Jeff. Like he gets tentacle arms.
Oh, that's
or
fun.
He becomes like a cartoon thing. And then like he steals one, and the two snakes start tussling with him, and they end up knocking into a jar that has a shadow demon in it. Because we're in the Sanctum Sanctorum, so it's like there is nothing. There's no like candy dish. If you open the candy dish,
If there's gonna be a demon that
there's a
pops out or
goblin in there, or a demon,
There's a
or a
goblin in there.
spirit, or a djinn, or something is coming for you, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't touch anything in the sanctum,
right.
but
Fair
you
enough.
want to.
Well, yeah, you're there.
Yeah, it's like every room in the sanctum is the basement in Cabin in the Woods.
Yes. That's fun.
Wait, is it Cabin in the Woods?
Are you talking about like all the cubes with monsters in them?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why for a minute I thought that was a different movie title. Anyway. So they release the demon, and the demon steals Jeff's shadow, which means now there's a shadowy impersonation of Jeff running around. It's super cute and adorable, but also super evil
Oh no.
and bad, and is going to give Jeff a bad name. And so Jeff like follows it through a bunch of portals and then runs into Deadpool, and Deadpool's like, "Yo, we used to be friends. What happened, man?
Yeah.
Weren't we
Remember
like
us? Remember when Kelly Thompson used to write my book and it was like great,
and we had a good time, but nobody cared?"
and then it got canceled, and so you had to go to Gwenpool?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so Jeff is like tries to get Deadpool to understand what's happening. Deadpool figures out finally what's going on. He's like, "Oh, okay, here's the thing, buddy.
Hey,
Like you
I'm also in the book. It's a Marvel book. He could show up at any moment. Hey. My lowest effort thing. My lowest effort impression ever. Hey. He just insists upon
I
himself.
have to leave." Deadpool's like, you get away with like basically murder
Yeah.
because you're adorable and fun and cute, and everyone would do anything for you, but this guy's gonna wreck that for you, so you better stop him. And Jeff's like, "Oh no,
Oh no.
I better stop him."
Yeah.
And so that's where we're
Oh,
at.
so
obviously
it's
Jeff
a
is gonna
cliffhanger.
Jeff's gonna hop through into other people's books based on the cover. We're gonna run into different.
Great.
I think,
Okay, that
crossover.
sounds
This is
fantastic.
adorable. This is fun. I love it. It was like I read this after reading Krypto, so I was like, okay,
Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So good stuff.
Yay. Well, we both read Aliens versus Avengers.
I didn't read this.
You didn't read
I'm
this?
kidding. I read this.
Oh my god. you yeah.
I gotcha. Hey,
Hickman and Ribic.
they say that like Emma Frost is obviously impenetrable to the aliens attacking her.
Uh-huh.
I'm guessing the Thing would not be.
No.
Even though he's made out of rock.
He's got a mouth.
That's true.
He has internal organs. He's not solid all the way
But
through.
I was thinking that when they attacked. like,
Yeah,
he
no.
might be-
Well,
anyway.
I guess they didn't make it on Earth.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away
No, I mean,
because the book is very much it just goes and then the book's over and there's never going to be any more.
It didn't happen like that for me because this was something that was set up earlier in the book then actually happens, but that is very Hickman of him, where he's just like, I put this over here and I will pick this up at the end. It's like knitting or whatever, you know. I left this stitch here and I'm going to come back around. I'm going to pick it up. You won't even know that it happened. Until you're surprised that it's there.
That said, this does. I mean, the reason why I was very distinct about saying, "Oh no, it's Aliens versus Avengers," because this is an Alien book with Marvel characters in it. Like from the beginning. Like from the beginning, Hickman was not shy about being like, it's all the lore. David is the bad guy. Like it's Prometheus and crap. The engineers will show up. Like there's going to be all kinds of stuff I hate. And, but also I'm going to keep, it's funny because he keeps all the nihilism of Alien. Like the hey, listen, there is no God though. So death is the worst thing that could possibly happen to you.
Yeah.
And so here it is. And that was very interesting. What we saw in the previous issue, maybe there might have been a bait and switch. Maybe there might have been a little bit of a surprise where it's like, no, people didn't necessarily die right off the bat like you thought off panel. Boy, Hickman likes Black Panther. I'm just saying, in everything he does, it's like, oh, don't forget, Black Panther's awesome and does this amazing thing and then goes to space.
I think Hickman... Because like there's also a heavy influence on, like he pays attention to the X-Men quite a bit.
Oh yes.
Emphasis. That was the word I wanted. I think he's maybe thinking, yes, these are characters I like, but also trying to make connections within Alien lore.
Yeah.
Because there are pulls in here. I'm trying to do this without giving anything away. There are pulls in here that I think are meant to be sort of one for one in terms of a little more like. It's not quite the company, but it's like, hey, who would make sense to fill the void of like something
like Weyland-Yutani?
Yes,
it's like
maybe.
Stark
or maybe this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also makes sense just in terms of their level of technology.
Oh yeah.
In general.
Oh yeah. No, it makes sense.
And
it's all, and they're like, you know, they're about vengeance and getting and you know stopping the engineers and stuff. It's cool. Well, how'd you like the Sinister angle?
The more I thought about it, the more I was like, this is utterly perfect.
It makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense. It's obviously, again, we're looking at that level of folly, that level of hubris within the Alien universe, and who best describes that within the Marvel universe. Often it is a character like Sinister.
Well, Sinister loves...
It happens to be Sinister in this because he's like, well, obviously I'm in control of this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like... anyone from any Alien movie thinking that they can control the Xenomorph.
Of course. So it's why you're like, oh, this is an Alien book.
Yeah. Which like I thought it was it seems initially like it's just like obviously or like whatever, it's just like a cash grab or like a fun way to make something new and fun looking. And then you think about it, like you take that skin deep level and you go down, you're like, that's where Hickman is also coming from. Where he's like, yes, I am gonna get the fun. Here's like an interesting new version of a Xenomorph.
Yeah, you get a new Xenomorph. And one you've never seen before.
Right. But when you think about who Sinister is and his entire history as a character, regardless of if you like him snarky or not, but what he's wanted to do, well, and it makes sense he'd want to do this.
Yes. You made the point. It's funny because like, yeah, that's exactly right. Like Josh and I were talking about it on our episode of All Stars that just dropped on Sunday.
Yes.
Which you should definitely check out. It's great. And it's available here on the channel. So make sure to like and subscribe. But you know, Josh thought, and I kind of agreed that like the Xenomorph, he would have preferred a white Xenomorph with a red diamond would have made the diamond stand out more.
Sure.
And you were like, no, he is the diamond. Like the Xenomorph is the end game. Like, if ever there was a last Sinister story, it ends with the Xenomorph.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I've been trying to achieve perfection in genetic engineering, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
It is the end game for Sinister.
Yes.
So yes, he like, even though he has a diamond, it's like, and I wish now that I know he is the diamond, I wish that he didn't have also a diamond. Like, but as it stands, it's cool.
They gotta have it. But also, I also mentioned the fact that when you think about, when you take a step back and you look at just the color palettes of characters.
Yeah.
Emma Frost is on the field.
Right. She's white.
She's already got like that. She's the White Queen.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and we've had a white Xenomorph in different, like, at least we saw one in Batman versus Aliens 3.
Yes.
or 2. I think it was 2. It was 2. 3 was awful. 2 was okay.
Yeah.
Either way, we've seen white xenomorphs before. We've never really seen a red xenomorph.
Yes, I thought it was really great.
It was great.
I really, really enjoyed it. I actually like this. It is a downer.
It is a real downer. And then
Um,
basically the Marvel universe is like, oh, we'll just invade this universe.
Yeah, we'll just win. It's fine.
I'm like, okay.
Sure, why not? Go for it. But if you don't like the Alien movies because they're too
Glib or glib or bleak,
yeah, yes,
then you're probably not going to enjoy the series.
This would not have been the series for you because he is leaning heavily into that. It's very different than even like some of the Predator books where it's like, yes, it's a little more like intense or, you know, a little more violent.
Yeah.
This is very much in keeping with that bleak, dour feel. Like, you know, you've read, I'm sure, some end of stories from what, like either universe. It doesn't matter whether it be like DC or Marvel, just like the last stories for heroes. And there's always some like moment
of hope.
There is not a lot of hope in these universes, but like that is true to Aliens, right? Like what happens when you find something that can't be killed?
Yeah.
Like, it's like thinking you're going to find God and you find the devil instead,
right? Exactly.
You know, and that's all that's there.
Yeah. It's cool.
So it's very cool. But again, like if you're thinking I'm going to have fun and I'm going to watch this book where like they, you know, go and, you know, team up and do whatever. And like they have some loss. That's not what this book was.
No, it's very bleak, but good, you know, and Ribic did some spectacular splash. I mean, like the whole book is great looking, but like there are some amazing, huge splashes of like futuristic starborn cities of spaceships of like, you know, planets and explosions. It's an amazing looking series.
It really is. I think for a lot of people, Ribic's people,
like, they're a little wonky. Their faces
are not what they like, you know, because again, they're not always super beautiful.
They're not ideal. Yeah,
they're not ideal whatsoever. And but anything with a mask, the xenomorphs.
Everything that's it's great. Yep.
The ships are unbelievable when he depicts them. Just great looking stuff.
Yep, it's a tremendous series. It's a diamond in the rough. I can't believe this book exists.
Yes, me either. And again, because it is so like down.
Yeah,
like this is not always what Marvel gravitates towards.
No, I can't. The only way it got approved is because of the team that worked on it.
I think you're right.
Like the team that did Secret Wars, the next thing they did was Aliens versus Avengers.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun. It's great. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. So
it's fun for those of us who like this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is me.
I like it too.
No, I meant like
right.
I
was like, I not to say I didn't enjoy it.
No, I know you did.
Yeah.
All right. So I read
ASM.
New art.
New art.
New old art.
It's John Romita Jr. back.
Here we are. We're back.
And so and what's weird is it's like a homecoming for the Zeb Wells run. Because not only is Joe Kelly gonna like, because one thing it's like, oh, John Romita Jr. is drawing this. Joe Kelly brought back Tombstone and paid off entirely what happened in the Zeb Wells run. Like there's a lot of stuff from the last run in this. And I don't know why anyone would want to remind you of the last run if you're riding so high.
Could this be like, okay, hear me out, because I honestly don't know enough about how editorial actually works.
Yeah, I mean,
or how editorial currently works.
Right, yeah.
Is it possible that Joe Kelly was like, this is the story I want to do, and they're like, okay, if you do that, then you got to do one for us.
Right. I don't know. I do know that the book pledged to introduce a new villain, which they do at the end of the issue, named Hellgate. He looks like Ares, God of War from the DC universe. Joe Kelly has teased him to be.
What?
Yep. I'm like, cool. Joe Kelly has teased that like he will result in one of the bloodiest Spider-Man fights of all time, which again, like, it just like, I don't care. I'm not interested.
Well,
I want to see that, but organically in a story. Like,
I would like to see it if Pepe Larraz was drawing.
Well, that's also true. But like, also, you know, like Babylon 5 creator J. Michael Straczynski gave us one of those with the creation of Morlun. But like, he introduces Morlun being like new crazy character. That's all you're going to get. And then you find out that there's a big bloody battle. Like, you know, you get that and people will remind you of it for the next 20 years. It's like, that's cool. But you don't like tease it, you know, like you're doing okay. It's the number one book every time it comes out. You don't need to I don't know, sell that sizzle. No one's interested, or because they're going to buy it anyway. Who cares?
Right.
But I don't know. Hellgate, like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's a Spider-Man book. I understand the motivation to not just do another, like, overconfident scientist who turns into an animal. Like, I get it, especially because, like, the most successful ones out of the gate, post Ditko and Ramita,
The Hellgate.
Were Venom and stuff, like, who are just not that. Like, just how about an alien costume that, like, is an ex-girlfriend? I don't know. It's just like
this guy used to be a zookeeper,
right,
and he was bitten by an accidental radioactive red panda, and he's basically the cutest guy you're ever gonna meet. And he doesn't really do anything.
There we go.
But he wants grapes.
Or it's just a guy in a big suit. Like, there's Rhino, but there's also the grizzly, there's the kangaroo.
True.
There's a lot of different animal-based Spider-Man characters where they look like Smoochie, where they have an animal head, but their face is in the middle, and they're just like, I'm stuck in this suit. That's not the case with Hellgate. Hellgate, ooh, he's so big and scary.
Why is he called Hellgate?
Who knows? Maybe you can open up Hellgates. Maybe you can open up gates to hell. Maybe he's from that. We don't know, because the introduction of Hellgate is the last page, and we don't know anything about him. What people are upset about isn't Hellgate, because of course, I mean, like, really, there's a split decision. I remember when Morlun was introduced, and I'm like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Like, he sucks. And then he had a big, awesome fight with Spider-Man, and then he died. And I was like, that's awesome. Then he kept coming back, and I'm like, this guy still sucks. He sucks harder than he did before. And he does. And every time Morlun comes back, he sucks harder than he did the last time. Until you introduce his entire family, and then you're like, that's much worse. I wish I had Morlun back. How is that possible? You introduced me to his dad and his brothers. That's not here nor there.
Somebody in chat said, I guess what Hellgate could do is he can introduce the Cenobites.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, why not? Just make it like a weird sex book. Because the book
Get out of here, Pinhead. Hellgate's on the field. He's brought his own Cenobites.
I've got such other things to show you.
It's secretly Paul.
Yeah.
Hellgate is Paul.
Hellgate's Paul. He's mad that he got cucked by Venom. And so he's like, how about this? I'm actually from another universe anyway, and I made these powers. You know that one day, that doesn't matter. Well, the point is...
he's Hellgate because Mephisto sent him up.
Yes.
He sent Paul up because Mary Jane and Peter were getting too close.
Yes.
And that was the thing. If Peter fell back in love with Mary Jane organically,
yep.
then it all would be like...
They'd undo the contract.
It'd be totally fine. So here comes Paul. When that didn't work out, it's Hellgate
I'll
time.
just send one of my... I tried sending an alternate dimension a ponytail wearing guy, and that didn't work, so I'll just send a demon instead. I don't know. I
done
mean,
and done.
Honestly, Hellgate should just be Paul, and it's like anti-spawn or something.
Yeah.
The thing people are upset about is the fact that, like, Pete is in an open relationship with his girlfriend Shay, and I'm like, that's enough of Shay.
What is it? Wait, they're upset that he's doing that to her?
No. Because she's like, no, we're cool. Like, I'm cool with us. You're not mature enough for a serious relationship.
Okay.
But I'm not. But no one editorially is willing to kick me out of the book. So how about we're just in an open relationship where, like, you can hook up with Black Cat.
So wait, people are upset that is the status quo?
Yes. They're mad that, like, Peter is okay with an open relationship with Shay. And I'm like, I can't imagine anyone caring at all about that.
But that's like very mature of her to say that.
Yeah,
being
it's also, Pete wasn't dating MJ when he proposed to her the first time.
Oh,
like Pete is not a stranger to being in ambiguous relationships.
Right.
But again, I'm not even on a side. I'm not like on the like, oh, Pete should be a swing and go for it kind of guy. Nor do I think Peter should be like a one woman kind of guy, despite the fact that he did give Miles Morales that exact advice when he visited him for the first time in the Spider-Man crossover. That being said, I just can't be bothered to care.
Right.
I was just reading this to be like, did it hurt the book? Like, did Ramita's homecoming hurt the book? Yes. It looks weird.
Obviously.
It doesn't.
Listen, you could go from a lot of artists to John Ritter Jr. and it would be noticed, but you went from Pepe Larraz.
And it's not like Pepe Larraz is a better artist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they are so different that it is shocking.
Yeah.
it's almost like going from Stuart Immonen to David LaFuente in the Ultimate book, where you're like, that's a different book now. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird series that like is constantly just whiplashing. Joe Kelly teased that there's a new status quo coming up besides the bloody battle with Hellgate.
Sure.
That Peter is going to be split into two characters. One is going to go into space and go on cosmic adventures in another costume, and the other one's going to stay on Earth. And I'm like, what even are you doing? Like,
So-
what is this? And it could be a Joe Kelly like Man of Action idea, or it could be an editorial like I want to see this because like we know that like no one in the
Sounds like
no one in the upper management space at the big two wants to see another Bendis. They don't want to see a dynasty. Nobody wants to see Bendis, who has no like a writer like Bendis who had no technical authority, push 6 different books running the line, and you kind of had to run things through him to see what the direction of your entire universe is going to be. Like I'm seeing, or at least it feels very strongly like a tightening of the noose by editorial / the upper management who are like, do this, do that. Like I thought we were past the point. And again, this is all naked speculation. I do want to say that out loud. I don't know. We've never even spoken to Nick Lowe. I do not know him as a person. I don't know him creatively. I've only seen his tone deaf thoughts on Twitter. Outside of that, I have no idea what his motivations are. So again, take this with a grain of salt. My insight / inclination is to suggest
your Spidey sense.
my Spidey sense is telling me that never has there been more of a directive from non-creatives for what the creative direction of books should be. And I think it's a deliberate, and if it is true, it is a deliberate attempt by the publisher to contain and control the narratives of their books and the directions of their titles. And by the way, purely for financial benefit, or what they perceive to be financial benefit, not because they think that there's some secret agenda. We've seen, look at Ultimates, Dennis Camp, how he feels politically is not in any way in speculation based on what the Ultimates is. So it's not like, oh, I want the books to be in one particular socioeconomic or sociopolitical bracket. No, it's just, we think that Spider-Man will sell better if it's this. We think Batman will be better if it's this, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really weird. It's weird to have a book that works so well, like the first 5 issues of Amazing Spider-Man by Joe Kelly, and then have this issue that's just like, what?
That to me sounds like this maybe wasn't his decision, and more like this was the assignment.
I can imagine that Joe Kelly would also go out and say, in no way am I the kind of creator who would take direction from my editor and just do something I didn't believe in.
It depends on what the contract looks like. You may not be able to do stuff like that.
Or you might not be able to defend yourself. I don't know. I'm just like, this is gross.
Wow.
I get an icky feeling.
Okay. I think it's interesting, the idea that they're going to split him up.
Oh, it's like, you just did that. And when I say just, I mean, it was a while ago, but Nick Spencer did that. Remember when Spider-Man got hit by that ray and Peter Parker and Spider-Man were both split?
Right.
We just
is that what's going to happen, or is it just going to be 2 separate Spider-Man?
That's the weird thing about it, is I have no effing idea.
Because I was
the
thinking,
the promotion, the solicitations are
yes,
Spider-Man will be made into 2 people, and one will go into space and the other one won't. And I'm like, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
right. But obviously,
is he going to get hit by a ray?
that's obviously happened to him in the past. Flash just did something similar to that, where there's 2.
Right. There's 2 Flashes. There's 2 Wallies.
Yeah. Didn't Superman do that?
Of course, red and blue. We're getting Spider-Man red and blue, only it's gold and red blue.
Is he what?
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Here, we'll read the worst written version of the article here.
We don't have to do that. We could read any other version.
I'm
of the
just
article.
looking at it, what the solicitation says. Spidey goes cosmic. This is from the solicitation at Marvel. A Tale of 2 Spider-Man. One Spider-Man swings around New York City, meeting out justice, good use of meeting, which is true, actually. In an unfriendly manner, another Spider-Man's found in a distant solar system running around with strange companions, including a stranger named Simbi, making his first appearance. Like, I give a fuck. Like, how dare you say that? The next chapter in Spider-Man's life begins here. Since launching earlier this year, Joe Kelly, Pepe Larraz, and John Romita Jr.'s new run of Amazing Spider-Man, now John Romita Jr. is involved, has been embraced by the industry and fans alike, hailed for its stellar artwork and classic, yet fresh, take on Spidey storytelling. It's only the beginning for what's shaping up to be one of the most acclaimed Spidey runs in recent memory. I'll take that bet. And a major turning point on the horizon that will take the title into a direction no one saw coming, which is very true. This September, there are 2 Spider-Men, one on Earth and one in space. This exciting new era kicks off at Amazing Spider-Man number 11, the landmark 975th issue. I love these milestones. Following Spider-Man's shocking showdown with a new supervillain, Hellgate. Oh, okay, let's just cut to the chase with Hellgate. In Amazing Spider-Man number 8, something strange has happened to Peter. Now there are 2 Spider-Men, but which is Peter Parker? Both! I'm not embellishing. That's what it says.
He's not.
I don't know what that
I'm
means.
looking at it.
What, like,
So-
and I'm also not intrigued.
So, are they doing like a clone thing?
If they did, they have one. Like, you've got a clone. His name's Ben.
Oh, is that
He's in a status quo that
Simbi
no one
there?
likes.
I'm so out on Simbi.
Yeah. Simbi and Rec Rap can
Hey.
have a book.
Called, and they just beat up on Sal.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, called Sal is a Gangster, because Sal's can't be Batman. And it'll just be more things that annoy
But you
Sal.
could be a
I can be a
Ghost
Ghost
Rider.
Rider, which is very cool. Here you go. Here's Amazing Spider-Man. Here's a solicitation which showcases the Peter Parker Spider-Man or something. I don't know, with Simbi. I mean, look. I don't know. I don't know. Just like, okay, whatever. Like, we're doing this again. Like, I guess, you know what it is? Like, I understand in some respect, like, because, you know, there's another tease for a cover that showcases the Spider Family, which is a thing I'll never, ever endorse. But, like, fighting Spider-Man, because, you know, they're like, one is Peter Parker or not or something. I don't know. But, like, you know, like, one of the most commercially successful recent runs of Spider-Man was Superior, where
Right.
Peter was replaced by Doc Ock.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was a book where Spider-Man fans were like, ah, what's happening? And then new fans were like, I kind of like this psychopath murdering people in a Spider-Man costume. It turns out you're finally scratching me where I itch. You're welcome. If I wish I were born 20 years earlier, I would have loved Venom. But, like, we just did that. And when I say we just did that, like, it's not like it's a new concept.
Yeah.
But I remember when they did that, and the Avengers were the ones who were like, boo, but now it's all Spider characters. Like, oh no. I love seeing Bailey being like, oh man, I just want people to look at him and go, who are you? And it's like, I have a vested interest in this because I was retconned into existing in the first place. And they were like, no, you weren't. Like, go away, Bailey. Anyway, I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird world we live in here, folks. And I don't want to be in it. So what else? Is that it?
You don't mean it like that, though.
I just mean I don't want this book to suck so much.
I get it.
It's not
Hey,
that it
listen,
sucks. It's
you
not the
got,
book.
Wait, how
Like,
many
there's
issues was it? What issues is this?
5.
Yeah,
We got 5 good issues
issues.
of Amazing Spider-Man
Wasn't that
in a
enough?
row.
That was 5.
That's 5 more than I've had in
I was
like what the
that was
previous
5
entire
months. Wait, no,
run.
that was just 2 months.
Yeah, that's not bad. Pepe Larraz, you kidding me?
You
That's
got
a
little
trade.
break.
That's a trade
You
paperback.
got a little break.
You got a little break. And you know that's the thing is that, like, hey, it's me. That for me, that is the proof, is that, like, any Spider-Man run can be great. Like, you can just, and also ruined. It's not ruined. Like, John Romita Jr. drawing this book, Spider-Man being in an open relationship with a girl that will never be drawn in a menagerie of girlfriends. You know, Mary Jane being Venom, all this stuff. You know, you just need one story arc where Robbie Robertson turned into a werewolf, and, like, you know, the High Evolutionary shows up, and it just didn't happen. Like, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't take much to make all the stuff that suck go away and have a really, really, like, celebrated run. It's just the luck of the draw or the luck of the editorial.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just assume that, like, what the hell's his name?
Hellgate?
Bailey.
Bailey.
I was like, what the
Spider
hell?
Boy.
I didn't even know what his
Spider
name
Boy.
is.
We had to make a deal with we had to make a deal with DC to get Spider Boy working.
Great. Feels not knowing nothing about him, but seeing his design and knowing who made it. Not the art part, but the writing part of it.
Yeah, the artists are doing a great
feels
job.
literally as though he was just like, what will get people talking about me? How do I like solidify my
Dynasty?
Yeah,
Like,
I got it. I gotta bend this up. I gotta make a younger than he made character.
Yep.
Spider themed.
Yep. How
Nailed
dare
it.
Bendis be remembered for making a young new Spider-Man character when I like Spider-Man and know more about Spider-Man than him?
I'll make my own.
I'll make my own. Oh, I have to. Okay, then I'll kick indoors and make a stink, and then we'll just make a Spider Boy
And write a subpar Superman book.
and write a
Let's go.
terrible Superman book that will be canceled before its time. Yippee! I don't know why that guy doesn't like me. So anyway, I don't think he does. I don't think he even knows who I am. Someone
That's
someone
fine.
said that he didn't like me, and I'm just making a joke at that reference. I don't know anything about that, and I refuse to acknowledge it.
Listen, I'm not a Spider-Man reader. I'm just talking about how it feels in terms of creativity.
That's how it looks. It's certainly the optics.
That's all
of
I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying creatively,
really
it
sucks.
feels bankrupt.
For me, if it's frustrating because Bailey looks a little like a character that my college roommate and I came up with named Crawler.
Oh, I remember that.
I
Remember telling
wish
me
we
about
could have done Crawler. He was a fun character. You guys would have loved him. Can I pitch him? Can I pitch Crawler?
I think you're allowed to. I mean, he could be your Spider Sony. You missed your boat on that too.
Yeah. Oh my! No, somebody drew. Some awesome person drew.
I know, but I
Spider
meant like
Sense.
you could have just put that out there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this would have been mine.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe
liked it
not.
a
Maybe
lot.
don't pitch him.
Yeah, he was a cute little character. I really like his design.
I never forgot. You told me about him.
Yeah.
I wasn't around when you.
No, you weren't around when he was drawn.
But I've never forgotten what his whole thing was.
Yeah. He's
So
he's
much
got
I
an original
enjoyed it.
character. You know what? All right.
No, don't.
All right, fine. We'll leave it alone. You never
No,
know.
He's actually like a better like for having a youthful younger Spider character. This is a better version of it.
Yeah,
in my
I never
opinion.
wanted to do. And then the other thing was, I was also like vehemently against us ever making him because I was like, well, we can't add another Spider-Man character to the Spider-Man world. There's already like back then it was
You're a fool.
should have started. Anyway,
He's
what's the book of the week? What's your book? It's Zatana, right?
I want it to be Zatana, but Krypto made me cry.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's Krypto.
Yeah. Honorable mention goes to Zatana, but
Yes.
Krypto. Yeah, and I guess I'll give it to New Gods or Alien Avengers. It was like I'll say New Gods. The book is still going. Alien Avengers is over, and I'll say AVA was a singular experience. This book in particular was like, there's nothing else like this book
Yeah.
anywhere.
1,000%.
All right, let's read some comments.
I love that.
Jeff Cole says, "Hey, Sal and Tiffany, happy Comic Pop. Woo! I got to see the Beyond Amazing Spider-Man exhibit in Chicago over the weekend, and it was spectacular. Thank you for making Mondays a lot more fun." Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad you checked that out. I always wanted to, and I won't be able to. Unless it travels, unless it's a traveling show.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Hulkzilla saying afternoon shift, so gonna have to watch on the rewind. Want to wish everyone in this community all the best.
Thanks,
I love
Hulkzilla.
that. Thank
Appreciate
you,
it, man.
Hulkzilla.
Chocobo Kid, hey, Siphony and Tal, I'm doing my part supporting the pop. Wait a minute. Yep, that's fair. Thank you very much, Chocobo Kid. Appreciate it, man.
The great initiative. Initiation. My LCS has a Wrath of the Spectre Omni on the shelf, and I was thinking of getting it, but it's a big chunk of change. Wondering if you were familiar with it and if you think it's worth a pickup.
I am not familiar, so I couldn't tell you. But I hope that the chat will light up for you in the event that any of them have read it.
Yeah.
Let our friend the Great Ishit know if you think it's a
Yeah, for
recommendation.
sure. Or even just look up some general reviews, like non-spoilery reviews out there to see what people think about it, just in general, if you haven't read the story before.
Yeah. Club Remix, have you done NYC Outdoor Escape Room GGC this year? A Clue took us to Midtown Comics. I was so glad to see new people there, and the owner helped us with the Clue. Nice.
That's amazing. What a great idea for getting people into the comic book store.
I've never heard of that.
I bet they had no idea that the comic book store even existed.
Yeah. Well, and I bet they regretted it the second they went up those stairs.
No way.
Those stairs are
They are
a nightmare.
Bryce Harriet saying, hello, thank you for the great combos around comics. I'm loving the chat / interviews on the channel. Also, your video thumbnails are great.
Thank you very much. Trying. We'll see.
He's trying.
I'm trying. Bear Farmer, I love Absolute Grodd. Feels very Chip and Dale. Fair enough.
Antonio Maldonado saying, hey guys, Alien vs. Avengers blew my mind. Ribic and Hickman are perfect for each other. I agree.
Yeah.
Glad Ribic got all the time to cook. The Wakandan ships looked amazing. Give him 5 years for a sequel. Lol. 1,000%.
Yeah. I hope there's a sequel. I know Josh mentioned on the show, which you should check out already, that he was wishing it was he wished that it was an ongoing series. Like the end of the book was an ongoing.
Well, okay, that's fair.
But I was like, no, I'd love a sequel, but I don't want one. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm happy with where it was, but I would take a sequel.
Yeah. George McKay, congrats on back issue 600 last week, and this starts my campaign for NFL Super Pro for 700.
Why?
That's not gonna happen. No one's gonna watch that, but I appreciate it. Maybe one day we'll do something with NFL Super Pro. We'll see.
Bear Farmer saying none of the variant covers for Avengers versus Godzilla were lies, and I wasn't expecting that.
That's true. Yeah, neither was I. Daniel Hospitales listened to the interview with Gunn, got me excited for the movie. Will do justice to the original story, Population Core. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, I love seeing James Gunn getting out there and talking about the movie and linking the comics together. What's going on?
I was trying to figure out what that emoji was.
Also, hey, listen, if James Gunn ever wants to come on the show, we're welcome. We'd love to see him.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can talk to him. Bear Farmer is saying, Hal being a cop, Ollie asking if he ever gets tired of the taste of leather, Superman trying to find the best way to handle this, John being an architect. New Gods really understands the DC Pantheon 1,000%.
Yeah, Ron V really gets it, man.
Yeah.
It's true. Bear Farmer, I need a poster of Krypto cuddling baby Clark.
Yeah, it's really cute.
It's a great moment.
Really cute moment.
Yeah.
Aw.
You don't have to do that, man.
Greg Katzman coming in saying, two-parter for two hosts. What gives you the most hope about the future of the comic industry?
Oh,
I'm gonna ask it in two parts.
I think the fact that we're finally we're kind of finally catching up with the East in our public consumption of comics. Like, there's something to be said. There's something important. I know.
Okay.
There's something important about seeing people reading comics in the wild. There's something important about seeing adults and children reading comics on like the subway or on a bench out in the world, just making it less stigmatized. Those pocket comics that DC made. I put out a story on social media because Marvel did like a kind of equivalent thereof with their books, where it's like Born Again is there, Winter Soldier is there, but DC is doing a much more aggressive, in-your-face, out there campaign for their smaller books. Featuring seminal books, that is doing a Herculean effort getting them in the hands of people. Now, of course, not to be outdone, Skybound has done that already as well. We've seen that for, at least Invincible, getting those little books out there into people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing comics in the hands of folks out in the world, outside of the comic book store, though I think comic book stores are meccas for that world, that's a great opportunity for like people who are ready to dip their leg into the water as opposed to dipping their toe in the water. That's a big good sign for me.
I feel like what gives me the most hope is actually the excitement of like creators still. You know what I mean? Like if they felt like it was not worth it, or if the industry was dying, they wouldn't have the same joy, I don't think, or the same excitement every time they sit down to tell a story. And I'm yes, I think there's a lot of it within the big two for sure. Like you look at something like Zatana, right? Or Moon Knight, right?
Yeah.
And you can just feel the energy.
Yep.
But I think you see it more in the smaller companies.
Oh yeah, with these indie books, like the people are not just swinging for the fences, but they are like, they're shooting for the moon.
Right.
These
but
people are going for it.
And the books that they are creating in those spaces may not have the biggest splash, but they have the longest ripples.
Yes.
Where it's like Power Fantasy lives rent free in my brain. Dark Spaces Dungeon lives rent free in my brain. Yeah. Right. We're talking about books that are written by like really well-known creators and smaller creators.
Right.
Too.
And then there's stuff like Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, where like that had such an impact on the indie scene and on casual readers as well.
Absolutely. But it's that type of thing where you can just feel their desire to make, their desire to create, their desire to tell a story put
Yeah.
out there for
And
everyone.
their way.
Yeah, and I think that that's easily the thing that gets me the most excited.
Yeah, that's fair.
Second part of the question. And what do you wish would change about it sooner rather than later? Thanks.
What would you like to see change about the comic book industry?
What are you going to say?
I'd like to see egos be reined in. I think
Good one.
that, you know, a brilliant person once told me that this industry is too small for egos so big. And truer words have never been spoken. I think that ego is why we have so many problems in all business, whether it's entertainment, comics, movies. I mean, just recently I was reading a thing about the movie industry, and I was like, what an avoidable situation. I'm not going to get into it, but it's just like, what a stupid thing. And it's just because some jackass somewhere was like, no.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
like, I would love to see ego reined in a big way.
Yeah.
Just kind of like having perspective.
Yeah.
You know, really helps to remind people that, like, just a couple of years ago, the comic book industry made $1 billion. The whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, how many billions of dollars did the video game industry make last year? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1 billion. You can buy the entire comic book industry for $1 billion.
Yeah. What do I wish? Okay, so I mean, obviously, there's like the easy.
There's so
answer,
much to
The
change.
easy answer. There's so much. The easy answer is I wish more people would take a try on an independent book and not feel like
Yes.
it was too big a lift. I wish there was an easier way for people who were transitioning from reading big two comics, maybe want to try something else. Well, maybe a book isn't satisfying their needs there, for them to find the thing that they want that isn't just like, oh, just read Invincible. And it's like, maybe that's not what they're looking for.
Right. It's not
Right?
just.
And I'm not
Invincible.
saying don't read Invincible if you want to read that. If you're like, no, I just love superhero books and I like that type of things and I like seeing fighting, stuff like that, then yeah, absolutely read
Yeah.
that. But if like there's something where it's like, I like reading this character and obviously the reason why are this,
You're
then
probably
maybe
gonna
try
like it.
this,
Yeah.
right? Like maybe try that. I also wish that there was, I don't know how to put this. Like, I don't know how to put this because there's no real obvious like answer to it. And it really had to be measured. I wish there was some more transparency from especially larger companies. I'm really talking about Marvel and DC, like in terms of who has the most creative control at times. I'm not like in terms of books, you know, where it's just like, okay, like we don't, if the writer isn't the one who's really driving the bus, then just tell us.
Right. Well, then why don't you write your own effing thing? Like if you think that this is such an important story, then you have to write it.
Yeah. I also wish that companies, maybe ones that are larger in particular, I don't know for sure, but that seem to have heard based in terms of rumbling on the internet, treated their creatives and their employees overall better. That
would be very nice. I would love to see a equitable share in sales. I would like to see people taken care of. I want Peter David to be the last casualty of the comic book industry.
Yes. And I don't have a solution for that. So it's like I'm just shouting into the wind essentially. Yeah, it's like this is like I'm wishing on a star.
Well, and I understand.
And I know it's gonna go out into the universe and be burned up. But like it would be nice if the people who you're building your empires off of
were taken care of.
Or respected.
Yeah, at the very least respected, or have their name spelled correctly in the credits of a movie. But yeah, I'm 100% on board for you.
And I think in terms of that, I'm really looking at the two top companies.
And we're looking at you, companies that are being subsidized by massive corporations. Yes, that.
Like I think it's very different when you're dealing with one like a smaller comic book company because they're smaller teams. They work harder because they are smaller teams, and the people that they're working with, I think they're a little more like they get to know that person as opposed to being a little bit more of a business. Yeah, I mean they're a business. They're definitely a business, but it's like, hey, there's like you only work with so many people within this business.
Exactly.
I don't know. There's so many.
We could do a whole episode about those two questions. But thank you.
I mean, like in terms of like the hope thing is the thing that's important. I feel like because it's like regardless of all of those things, people are excited to tell their stories still. Yeah. And the industry is taking efforts to try to get different formats out there for people to grab and just engage with.
It's true. I'd also like to see an erosion of the barrier to entry for comics. I mean, but the problem is it's just like so multifaceted. It's not just like make comics cheaper. That's not the problem. Yes. But it's not it is a problem, but it's not the problem.
And also just if you're a comic book company who is also putting out another version of your property in another media, connect it in some way with the comic.
Right.
And I don't mean like make the comic meet it.
No,
I mean
make
like
the actor hold the
sell-
book, or put it at the end of the episode or at the end of the movie,
Yes,
but not at
sell the book.
Yeah,
sell
the
the
book.
thing where it came from. Don't like just let Hollywood go like, I made that.
Yeah.
You made that? I made that.
Exactly. Let's see here. Bear Farmer, I reread the first 3 issues of AVA before going into the 4th. Funny how many little things I was hoping for that just never happened. Example, Apocalypse. Yeah, a lot of stuff where it's like we big moments that we just needed to show you and just go like, you can figure out from here. I mean, what about Cap and the human race?
They're gone. Denial. I know you aren't reading it, but right now Miles is teaming up with Hercules to take on Ares with a whole Greek theme in the story. Why does Deathgate look like a mid-90s era Ares? Am I crazy?
It's Hellgate, but yes, he looks exactly. Yeah, no, he looks exactly like the action figure from.
I read it as this.
Yeah, no, but no, I know. Yeah, I know. It's like, wow, what an uniconic character that is. Cool. Matt Fisher, did you know that Reed Richards is elastic? Sue can fade from sight. Johnny's the Human Torch, and the Thing just loves to fight. Yes, I'm familiar with that. With those things.
Here's the thing.
Fantastic Thing. It boils down to this: Spider-Man has been ungrammatical since OMD. It's true. Yeah. That's ungrammatical. What a great song. I hope they get it in the movie somehow. They're not going to, but I wish they would.
Maybe it'll be on TV or something.
There's no effing way. Yeah, that'd be great. It'd be actually really funny because, like, okay, so the Marvel Action Hour first season of Fantastic Four has that tremendous theme song.
Yeah.
Which has been replaced in season 2 by a theme I really do like. I'm like, for me, that is the Fantastic Four theme, is that orchestral theme. I wish that were as iconic as the X-Men theme. It isn't. Instead, sadly, that stupid song is more world renowned.
It's mainly because of you.
Yeah, it's also really dumb. It's also like inescapably stupid.
It's ungrammatical.
It's ungrammatical. They put that there. Why would they say that? But in the comics, those characters are looking at that horrible cartoon and they're like, this show sucks, because the first season was really bad. But then it'd be great if they made a movie where maybe like they're reading a comic book that is set in the universe of the cartoon show.
Oh boy. Bear Farmer come back to say 3 questions. What's a Marvel Absolute Edition you'd want made?
I mean, you could Craven, probably. Craven's Last Hunt. Huge. Sketches, art. You got a forward by J.M. DeMatteis. Mike Zeck could say something or two. It'd be great. Big book.
This is such like, I don't know. Okay.
The Oath.
Well, maybe. I was thinking in terms of if it has to be big. I'm like, what art do I want to see as big as humanly possible? I don't have an answer for that right now. Go on to the next one. You keep reading them. I'm gonna look at my library of Comixology.
What's a DC absolute book you recommend? I mean, honestly, just whatever book you like from DC. I have a couple, but like I don't collect absolute editions, but I have a couple. I have an absolute Killing Joke. I have an absolute Court of Owls. There's a couple things. I like them both. The Killing Joke is amazing because it has both. It prints the old one, which is funny because like the old coloring is on old newsprint style paper, but I don't think that the paper in the original printing of the Killing Joke actually used newsprint paper, so it's like kind of this weird inception. Anyway, what's a DC book with no absolute edition that you want to see? Dark Patterns for me. ComicPop Woo. Thanks, Farrah Farmer.
I don't have answers to
tough
any
call.
of it. Ooh, you know what? Let's do a Zatanna absolute at this point.
Just make it really big.
Or obviously Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Make it really big, please do that. The freaking Marvel one's really hard for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
I know.
I'll continue to think about this.
Thorn Entity, thank you very much for your generosity. Saying
you.
ComicPop Woo to you as well, my friend. Thank you so much. It's very, very generous.
Very generous. Thank you.
Marius Patrick
says, are you excited for Chip Zdarsky's Captain America series? Love your work and everything you do.
Thank you, Marius. Appreciate it, dude. Yes. We're very excited for the Zdarsky run. And also, I can't wait to see, I think Zdarsky's writing the shorter, packaged with Deadpool and Batman, Captain America Wonder Woman crossover with Terry Dodson.
Oh.
So I'm excited to see that as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's great. William McDonald, been watching since I was in high school. First super chat, and last week I graduated university with a bachelor's. Congratulations to you, man. Thanks for keeping my love of comics alive. Who do you too, William?
Amazing.
What a journey you've gone on, man. And congratulations to you. Grab the earth, the bull by its horns. Oh, I know. Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian.
The Jason Aaron.
The Jason Aaron one. That is my answer to what Marvel Absolute I want. There it is, folks.
A book they can never make.
I found it. Or King Conan also be fine.
Yeah, again.
The book they can never make.
The book they can never make ever because of the rights issues.
And doesn't that make it all the more sweeter to want?
That'll be your DC Marvel crossover.
What?
That'll be your DC Marvel crossover.
Conan?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I want to see this, and they'll never make it, but they could if they just got their heads out of their butts.
I see, yes.
Yeah. Matt Fisher returns. Also, hi. I've returned.
They thought I was having a stroke. I didn't, but it was scary. Thanks for making Mondays pop, B-Mock, and B-Walk. Wait, really?
Are you glad
okay?
You're not. Take care of yourself, man. And thank you, Matt.
Yeah, seriously, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for being here and giving a super chat and
That's
all
right,
that stuff.
but please, for the
take
love of
care of
God,
your health.
take care of your health. Yeah.
My goodness.
That's right. The Derpiest of Derps. Hey guys, thank you very much. Love the 600th issue of back issues. I'm curious what the backups to Batman Deadpool you're most excited to read. Personally, I'm more excited for Krypto Jeff than I am Batman Deadpool. I mean, I really want to see what I'm really kind of enthused for the Green Arrow Daredevil one. I do want to see Cap and Wendy. I want to see what that's all about.
It's definitely
a blonde guy named Steve who's in the military. I think she can't resist it.
It's Krypto and Jeff 1,000%.
That's fair.
Yes, I am here for this.
Yeah. There you go.
Happy Steve saying views on Hunger and the Dust delay on book 2 and trade paperback. Listen, I think they've been pretty transparent about the reasons why, which I super appreciate. I think it'll be worth the wait.
Yeah.
I think the book, those of us who are reading it are not going to be upset when it just here's all of it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They think it's going to be well received by those of us who are looking forward to it. It sucks because I do want more.
Yeah.
But listen, like life gets in the way sometimes. Yeah. And what helps though is being told.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so shout out to the creators and the company for that to make sure that we are informed, because the worst is to just be like, act like it's not happening.
Right.
And it's like, could you just tell us?
You
don't have to tell us everything.
No, I don't need to know every detail, but just
there's some stuff going on. And so they did, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. And Daniel Hospitalis, also, I feel like Tom and You show needs a name. I think it's fine. I don't know what it would be, and the thing is, Tom can't come by regularly enough for us to really cash in. So it's just going to be a treat when Tom arrives.
Ooh, I have a better one for DC. What did I say for DC?
You didn't say
Zatana.
anything.
I said Zatana.
Zatana, yeah.
I take it back. I take it all back. Cy Spurrier's Hellblazer.
Yes, all of Cy Spurrier's Hellblazer.
I take
the
it
whole
back.
run.
I take all of it back. The Dead in America, the original one.
Yep.
That's it. I take it back.
There you go.
That is my answer.
There you go.
That is my answer to that. I want Conan and I want Hellblazer.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I understand.
Wasn't gonna let that go.
Good. Let's recommend some books that are coming out this week
No.
that you should check out.
Okay, let's do it.
Ultimate Spider-Man 18. Yep, got to check that out.
Absolute Wonder Woman number 9. Let's go.
Absolute Martian Manhunter number 4 is coming. Superman 27, which if you have not already checked out our show with Josh, we talk about it. It's heading into some interesting territory. Check that out as well. It's a great looking book, and it's well written as well. Let's see here.
The Flash number 22 is coming out. Oh boy.
Spider-Man versus Predator number 3 is dropping. Yay, I love that. New History DC Universe is dropping. That's going to be very exciting.
I was wondering if you were going to read that.
Yeah,
I saw that was advertised in like every book.
Yeah, every DC book had this
every
plastered.
book, Marvel, DC, all of it. Some of them got it in there.
Yeah, it's true. Spider-Man and Wolverine number 2. We'll see if I keep reading this. I doubt it. We'll see. And DC X Sonic the Hedgehog. Finally, we got a Mecha Sonic in there. That's going to be exciting. I like the series a lot for some reason.
Sure. Doom Academy number 5 is coming out, as is Green Lantern Dark number 5. Really like that book.
Yep. And here's the thing. Number 2, which is also coming out.
Why are you like this?
And I think that's it.
Is it? Probably.
Oh, there's a new book that I knew you'd have to click on.
I have to click on it. I have to know who's writing this. Oh. Oh, the news from the Fallout from Chris Condon, who's writing Ultimate Wolverine.
Yeah.
Neat.
Right?
Is it? Is that who's writing it?
That's right.
Oh,
with
maybe
art
I'll
by
have to-
Jeffrey Allen Love.
May have to check that out. Really striking cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very striking.
Very cool. I guess that's it.
Okay.
It's a VR Troopers book. That's fun.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Well, I think we've had I think you've had enough of us, so we appreciate you hanging out with us for this long.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Thanks, gang.
No,
We'll
but
see you guys
seriously,
next
thank
week.
you all for being here with us. If you're on the East Coast right now, you're experiencing a heat wave. So stay cool out there. Make sure you drink enough. Check up on your neighbors
and your
the
loved
elder-
ones and the elderly.
Yeah, just make sure they're A-okay out there. Take care of yourselves, of course. And yeah, like don't push yourself too hard.
That's right.
It's
that's
not
right.
worth it. It's not worth it. Just drink lots of water. Even if you don't like water, drink it anyway.
Yeah.
Telling you right now, hydrate.
It's true. If you're looking for some cheap, some comics that are Disney themed that are available for a price you can determine, that also proceeds of which go to a good charity, are available from Dynamite Entertainment. The link is in the chat or comments below this video, so check that out. That humble bundle, and give Gargoyles a look. Tiffany liked that book.
I did like that book, and of course, don't forget to pre-order if you're interested in
Shredder #1,
yes.
which is going to have the pre-order, I believe, of July 7th, and you should check out the pre-order. You should pre-order your copy of Casey Jones #1 from August 11th.
My brain was like, and the book is called The Life and Times of Casey Jones, and I don't know why that was what I was going to say. So I am
It's not.
So
it's just
glad
called
you
Casey
took
Jones.
over.
Check that out.
I was like, that's obviously what the book is called.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But check that out. And of course, Sal wants to say thank you so much to Dan Waters and
Alex
Packnadell
for joining us today.
Exactly.
Yeah, we really, really appreciate them coming by, and we want to thank IDW for setting that up.
Heck yeah.
And thanks to our friends over at Dynamite for the Humble Bundle opportunity, and thanks to all of you for watching the show. Thanks to the Super Chatters for sponsoring today's show. And if you want to get more, you can always subscribe to this channel. You'll get more. There's plenty of it. I've got lots of shorts that are coming out from our chat with Josh Williamson. But if you wanted the whole damn thing in one big chunk, you can watch that episode of All Stars, which dropped this past Sunday. If you want even more than that, well, we have 3 different channels on this umbrella that is called Comic Pop. We've got Comic Pop, youtube.com/Comic Pop, where back issues and shorts, which are mostly deleted scenes from back issues, go. I got this channel, ComicPop Returns, which you should subscribe to as well if you want to check out this live show every Monday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also check out youtube.com/ComicPop Plays, where Tiffany plays video games, typically with either her.
It's usually just me.
It's usually just you by yourself.
Lately, it's been like a
It's
bunch
been
of people
it's been a team-based thing.
More like team-based things, but we just finished up Silent Hill 2. I made the promise.
You did. You finished Silent Hill 2, the remake from Bloober.
Yes.
And you should definitely check out that stream if you haven't already. But if you want to follow along, make sure to subscribe to that channel, youtube.com/ComicPopPlays. Or if you like it on Twitch, you can always check it out over twitch.tv/ComicPop. All links for everything we do are in the description below this video and every video we make. Thanks for being here. Thanks to the chat for being cool. And we'll see you guys next time. So long, everybody. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Bye-bye.
Bye.